When a series of shipping disasters points to a mysterious sea monster, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson leave the comfort of Baker Street and board a freighter where they encounter unexpected betrayal and come face to face with the enigmatic Captain Nemo and his submarine, the Nautilus. As they delve deeper into the case, they uncover a conspiracy involving a Russian Tsar with an airship that rains destruction on unsuspecting cities. With time running out and the world on the brink of war, the heroes must use all their skills and resources to stop a massive conspiracy and prevent global conflict. From Eisner-winning writer Mike Barron and illustrator Richard Bonk, dive into the depths of adventure and unravel the mysteries of the sea with the world's greatest detective in Leviathan. Order now on Fund My Comic.
Star Trek will not be presented tonight, so that we may bring you the following special program.
We need an intro for the show, evidently. Welcome
Agreed.
to the Tier Maker Show, or whatever you want to call it. I am Tom Connors. We got Nick Weiser here. How you doing, Nick?
Doing pretty good, Tom. Happy to be here. I'm glad, I was thinking all week about this. I was like, what are we going to do? I'm like, and all of a sudden it hit me as with, tomorrow's events. And I'm like, Mel Gibson.
I almost did Sylvester Stallone. But
Did you really? Oh, dude. I thought about that too now, dude. This is perfect because we don't cover the Gibson stuff as much as we should. I mean, there's so much classics here. Lots to remember. But yeah, happy to be here. Hail to our chats. Thank you all for being here on this Sunday night. Let's have a lot of fun with this one.
we also have just another red shirt with us. How you doing?
Very well, thanks, Tom. Thank you for the invite. This looks like fun. And as I said to you in the in the chat, in the DM, this is something I actually know about. The last time you did movies in 1985. In 1985, I was a poor, starving software engineer who didn't have the money to go to a movie theater.
That's understandable. Yeah, hopefully we've seen most of these amongst us. So what I did, though, is I didn't pick every Mel Gibson movie. So any movie where he's got like a cameo, a bit part, where he's not a main part of the cast,
Right.
I didn't put in here. Plus, some of his more recent straight-to-streaming type stuff I didn't put in here either. So basically, I tried to pick movies that I thought everybody had seen, and I got about half of his filmography here with about 36, leaving out, like I said, a lot of cameos and other appearances like that. So, but hopefully we got a good list here. We also have coming in from Canada, CC Karaoke. How you doing?
I was looking at his IMDb and I'm like, I have never heard of some of these. So I'm thinking those are the cameos and whatnot. But
probably, yeah, he's in a lot of films where he just pops up for a minute or two or whatever.
I hope he put Chicken Run on there though.
Chicken Run is on here because that's when he pretty much anyone where he's a main part of the cast, and it was a theatrical release. That's what I picked, basically. Yeah,
sounds good.
Because he did a few things before Mad Max, but I didn't bother putting those on, stuff like that. So like I started with Mad Max and then went from there. So, and we also have joining us, Price of Reason. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
We're having a Mel Gibson kind of night.
Nice.
It's a bird on the wire.
It's huge.
It's diabolical.
Diabolical. Toxic Tuesdays is going to be very diabolical.
Well, speaking of Toxic Tuesday, can you believe this crap? I know one of these movies, the first one on the list, Nick hasn't even seen, and I can't believe it. It's like one of the ultimate Fat Man. Yeah, it's like one of the ultimate Toxic Tuesday films.
Oh, it is. Oh my God.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
Oh God, I love it.
Okay, you heard it here first, all the way in advance in January. Toxic Tuesday, Fat Man, Price of Reason will be the guest. That's your 11-month heads up. No excuses.
I'll be there. Let's do it.
11 months you got to watch that damn movie now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's no. You take off work. You call the fire department. You bring back Gilbert Godfrey from the dead. I don't care what you got to do. You make it happen and show up.
Walton Goggins is in it too. He's great. So let's start it. To hell with it. Let's. Well, actually, you know what? We got a couple super chats. So let's start there first. We got Nick the Greek sending in $4.99. He says, my top 6, Patriot, We Were Soldiers, Mad Max, Gallipoli, Braveheart, and Lethal Weapon. Oh, that's a good list.
Woo!
And we got Eric Wimberg. How you doing, Eric? Says, Endo, meet Mr. Martin Riggs. Endo here has forgotten more about dispensing pain than you and I will ever know. That's right. Yeah, that's from Lethal Weapon. And then we got, Jason Webster firing one in here too. He says, my favorite films starring Mel Gibson are Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, obviously, The Year of Living Dangerously, then Lethal Weapon. There you go. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about those and more. So keep sending in your favorite films from Mel Gibson if you'd like on the Super Chats. And if we run into some disagreements or films that none of us on the panel have seen, you guys are going to get to vote on them. So stay tuned for that and listen up because we'll need your votes. But let's kick it off with Fat Man. So I know I've seen it. It's become a Christmas staple now for me. It's a great film. What about you guys? Obviously, Nick hasn't seen it. Redshirt, it sounds like you have, though.
I have seen it. In fact, I just watched it not that long ago. Rewatched it. Yeah, love the movie.
Yeah.
It's a Santa Claus that when he gives you coal, he means it.
Yeah. And then 6 asks for $2. Hey, 6, if you need the link, let me know. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to join us. Is the S category for the 2 movies 6 has seen? Yes. No. Actually, people got so confused last week that I got enough comments that I'm like, I'm just going to do it. The S, A, B, C, D, just because everybody was so freaking out about it. So, I'll just leave it, I guess. I'd rather do just A, B, C, D, E, F, but whatever makes it work, I guess. And then Lost for Words has been a member for 35 months. Thank you for that. So Red Shirt, where would you tier Fat Man?
I would put Fat Man as one of my favorite comedies and favorite Christmas movies just because it's so unconventional, and yet it still adheres to the story of Santa Claus. It's just you don't get a lot of chances with that Santa Claus, and the fact that most of the year he's just a business owner with all the hassles of running a business, which I thought was hysterically funny. Yeah, definitely I'd put that at the top. I'd give that an A.
Yeah. All right. So CC, have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Oh my gosh, we got another person on the panel.
I know, right?
I guess it's down to me and Red Shirt then. So you said A?
Yeah.
Gosh, I really want to put it in S tier, but I guess I'll have to settle for A. Because for now, we got a lot of S tier.
Do we have an S tier?
Yes, I did the S tier, even though, and 6 S, I don't really know what it means, 6. Super? Superior?
Yeah, like
Super.
just above, like really landmark classic or something like that.
I guess so. All right, so the next one is one I haven't actually seen yet, Edge of Darkness. Has anybody here on this panel seen it?
Oh, no.
Remind me what happens in that one.
Let's see here. I'm trying to remember. That was one of his earlier 2000 ones. I remember right. 2010.
I don't think I've seen it.
Conspiracy crime thriller film directed by Martin Campbell. When the only daughter of Boston homicide detective Thomas Craven, Mel Gibson, is shot on his doorstep, everyone assumes that he was the intended target. Then evidence suggests otherwise, and Craven sets out to find her killer. In the process, uncovers her secret life, corporate cover-ups, government collusion, and murder. Ooh, that sounds pretty good, actually. I'm going to check that one out.
I have not seen this.
Anybody?
I haven't seen it. I remember hearing about it, but never got around to
Haven't
watching
seen it either.
Yeah, I remember it coming out around that time when he was getting canceled in the first place, and I should have seen it then, and then it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume it's not good enough for S tier, so we're going to send this one out to you guys. Let me just get this
Chat's
set up
high on
here.
it for sure.
That's what I figured.
We got 2 A's already.
Yeah. All right. So there you go, guys. You get to pick on that one. I'll give you guys a few minutes while we move on to our next one here. The Expendables 3.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I would say I think most of us have probably seen that one.
I mean,
so Price, go ahead.
I don't think any of those movies are A. I think that they're probably decent B movies. I honestly, if I think of the 3 of them now, I can't really even. In my mind, it's almost like a blur. It's almost like one movie. I know the experience I got watching them. I think he was fine and whatever. I think he's the villain or something.
Yes.
He was
And
fine
he's
in the
a
In my
movie.
great
opinion, he was the
villain.
better of the villains. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you that. He was. Listen, of course he was. He's better. One had, I think, Jean-Claude Van Damme or something, didn't he?
Yeah, but this one, it was like he used to be a part of their team, which kind of
Right, right. This one, obviously, Mel Gibson is, he's a good actor. So if you brought him to do the villain thing, it's obviously gonna be good for your movie. So yeah, I still say B.
B. All right.
I'll go
have you
with
seen
the
it?
B.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
likewise.
that.
Red shirt.
Yeah, likewise, a B.
B. Yeah, I thought it was better than the second one, so I'd definitely go B.
We gotta do 2 and 3 for future toxics, because when we did the one on the first one, I remember liking the first one, but then rewatching it, it aged very well. Like it's so much better
The
than I
second one,
remember.
not so much.
Okay,
The first
maybe-
one's good. The second one's kind of eh. The third one's good. The only downside of the third one is that it's PG-13. That's the only downside. But like, there's not that much added to the R-rated version from my memory. But
Mhm.
The fourth one is rather disappointing.
the fourth one is
Oh, I'm
horrendous.
sure it is.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Well, that's because they should have went with their initial instinct, and it was going to be called A Christmas Story, an Expendables movie or whatever. I'm not kidding. It was going to be a spinoff.
That should have been the one.
But
That
they
would've been
just
way
used all
better.
that and mixed it in with the other stuff since Sly they had their big falling out. So like, yeah, anyway,
What was that falling out about, though? Who did he have a falling out with?
the producer, I think it had to do with something with money. If I'm not
Oh.
mistaken.
But then at the end they convinced him, so it looks like they kind of added
He's
him
in
to
it,
the movie.
Didn't
yeah,
Stallone
it's like
also
really half-assed.
had a falling out with Willis as well? That's why Willis didn't do the third movie. So he basically replaced Bruce Willis.
Yes,
20
because
minutes
Bruce
later
Willis
with a
wanted $1
phone
million.
call to Harrison Ford. Yeah.
But that was because we found out later that was his baseline thing that he was doing, that his agent was doing at that time. So that's probably why. But Sly called him greedy and lazy because he wasn't going to pay him $1 million for like 2 minutes of screen time or some shit like that. Because Schwarzenegger did it for like real cheap. So he's like, why can't you do it cheap too?
Right.
Anyway, Gallipoli is next. I have not seen this one in years, so I can't really remember most of it.
I've
But I
never
know this
seen it.
is a lot of people's favorites.
Have not seen
Anybody
this
on
one.
here?
I've seen it. Mrs. Redshirt asked me to watch it, and I was surprised at how much I liked it. It's a better movie than it sounds from the description. Yeah, because I mean I've seen the movie Gallipoli.
We got a lot of A's in there in the chat.
Yeah, I would not argue with if the consensus is an A for this, because it is a very good movie. It's not too tight for Mel Gibson. You know,
I know
he
it was one of the
played-
movies that set him off as far as
Yeah. It's also, I mean, for an Australian actor, it's a big subject to take on. A rather sensitive subject, actually. Still, if you know
Well,
the story.
since all the ratings in the chat are A or S, I'm gonna throw it in the A. I'm not even gonna bother doing a vote on that one.
Yeah.
But speaking of votes, we do have Edge of Darkness out there, so vote on that real quick, guys, because I'm gonna close that off here real soon. And that's a close one yet, so get on it. But all right, let's keep moving. Then we got Father Stew. Am I the only one who's seen that one?
Yeah, that went on my list. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, I remember wanting to see that and having not.
I think that one is basically based on Father Brown, but they called it Father Stew. Am I wrong?
If I remember, you're correct. Yeah, it's like it is a true story, and I think if I remember right, he plays the father of the character. It was pretty good.
I don't
It's
know
been a
if
couple
it's a
years
true
since I've
story.
seen
Maybe
it,
I'm
but-
wrong. I thought there's a British show called Father Brown.
Oh no, it's not based on that then.
No.
Does he solve mysteries?
No, it's a true story about an actual person who, like, it's about this guy who was like constantly getting into trouble, alcoholic, all that kind of stuff. And he ends
Oh,
up
okay.
becoming a
Sorry,
priest.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, it's a true story. It's he becomes a father, and it's actually a pretty good movie. So am I the only one who's seen it besides, or have you seen it too, Red Shirt?
I have not, but it is on my list of movies to watch, except that I keep watching movies for Tuesday.
I think he's trying to tell me something there.
No, actually, I got it here. Father Stu is an unflinching. Sorry, I got to put my glasses up here. Unflinching, honest, funny, and uplifting story about finding purpose in the most unexpected place after surviving a terrible. That's right. He gets in a motorcycle accident. Stuart Long wonders if he can use his second chance to help others find their way, and leads this former amateur boxer. That's also he was a boxer. That's right. To the surprising realization that he is meant to be a priest. Despite a devastating health crisis and the skepticism of the church officials and his estranged parents, Stu pursues the vocation with courage and compassion, inspiring not only those closest to him, but countless others along the way. Yeah, it was actually a pretty good movie. So I would put it probably in the B tier. Am I the only one who's seen it?
I guess so.
All right. Well, unless
Yeah.
anybody
The
wants to
master,
argue in the
Tom.
chat, I'm going to throw that in the B tier for now. Then we got the Beaver. Speaking of B,
Yeah.
I remember seeing that quite a few years ago. That was right after his first cancellation. It was his comeback movie.
Oh, with Jodie Foster or something, right?
Yep.
If I remember, I think it was honestly okay. I didn't think it was bad. I'd say B. It's pretty good, but then again, I only saw it once. They would have to have a proper rewatching again. So when it came out, oh boy, I was going through a lot of stuff at the time, so my mind is a little breezy on it. But it was fine at the time, but I can't say if it's lower or higher.
About B.
B sounds
then
good.
go with
Yeah.
the B, yeah.
Yeah. Then we got an easy one here, Pocahontas.
I go with an A. I think he has a great performance as John Smith, and he works with Christian Bale as well. And it's definitely one of the when Disney is on its second win, late 80s into the early 90s when they're making original movies.
I bet you that's one of the ones Six has seen. One of the two movies that Six is that? No, let us know.
Pocahontas. This is the real Pocahontas. Not that poser named Warren.
We're talking about the Disney one, the real Pocahontas.
Yeah, the good stuff. The great
good stuff.
Pocahontas.
All right, we're about to end the poll, guys, so hurry up and vote. Because I know there's a few second delay. We only got 56 votes and 171 people on YouTube right now. We got to get a few more votes in there. I can't believe that at least a few more of you have to have seen it. So we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to wait an extra 5 seconds to give you guys the actual 5 seconds. And done. All right. So it's getting a B. So we give it a B for Edge of Darkness. If it ever comes up, I'm pretty sure it was B the one. It was really close, though.
It was.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? It hasn't popped up yet. All right, well, we're going to go with B. I'm pretty sure it was B.
I just looked. I'm actually looking at the chat. It's B.
There it goes. Now it finally popped up. There we go. 38% for B. A was at 33%, 23% for C, and 3% for D. All right, so there we go. And then we got Dragged Across Concrete is the next one. I have not seen this one yet, but I've heard good things about it.
I've never seen it either.
I think this one's got to be up to the chat.
Oh my.
Yeah, right.
Red shirt? You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it either.
You either, CC? All right. Let's do this thing. We're getting A's and B's, so start a poll. Oops, not B. All right, so start that poll and we'll keep moving on. We've got Daddy's Home 2. Now, I remember seeing this, but I don't really remember much. So I don't think it was that good, but it must not have been that bad either. So I'm going to go with like C tier. Daddy's Home 2.
I actually watched
Daddy's Home 2. I saw that one. I saw that movie.
What do you think?
It was all right.
It's all right. I'm at. Like, I
mean,
really
I think it's a
remember
C. I think it's a C. I think it's
Is that
a
what you
C.
say, CC? Is it a
Oh,
C?
this is back when I was in Toronto. My friends dragged me to it. It's like, you picked the worst movie? Yeah, it actually was the worst. I don't have, it was not anything rememberable.
I think C is a good place for it to be.
I
It
think
has
he was
a
all
decent-
right in it. But
I mean,
yeah.
it's got Mel Gibson in it. But it's like, when The Rock was playing those daddy roles. And none of it was
I
ever
almost
as
didn't
good
put
as
this one on
Arnold
the list.
Schwarzenegger, you know?
If he wasn't on the fucking poster, I wouldn't have put it on the list.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. I think it's fair enough that you put it in here, but it's a C.
Yeah. And then 6 just picks C for carrots, just because. Here's a good one. Conspiracy Theory. Richard Donner. Could this be our first S tier Mel Gibson one? I don't know. I gotta imagine most of y'all have seen this one.
Oh
I've-
yeah, love
I've-
this movie. This is an S tier for me. That's
S
it.
tier
No
for Nick?
questions. Yes, sir.
Red
I've
shirt?
seen
Yeah.
it. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
It's
you're fine.
either an A or an S for me.
All right.
I'm right on the edge, but I'll go either way.
Are you on the edge of darkness?
No.
All right. What about you,
Yeah.
CC?
In that similar boat. I'll go with A, though.
All right.
But I mean,
Bryce?
I'd like to watch it again,
All right. That's fair. Bryce, what about you?
Without a rewatch, because it's been a while, I'll give it an A.
I have not seen this movie in a long time just because it's not the easiest one to find half the time. It is out there. You can get it. But I remember a lot about it. So I'm going to put it in the S tier because I remember it being a fucking awesome movie. And it's one of the few Julia Roberts movies I can stand to. Because I'm not the biggest fan of hers. She's all right, but yeah. She's one of those I'm just like, I don't get it. Just like, anyhow. So we'll put it in S tier. We got our first S tier. Yay!
Yes.
All right.
I think there
So-
was a moment in time that, Julia Roberts had a certain screen presence. She's
To
tall
a
and
point.
she's tall and she had this kind of likable vibe to her. She had sort of, I don't know, she kind of felt kind of glamorous.
She was kind of somewhere between the glamour and the girl next door. I understand that part, yeah.
Right, and I think that was a good place to be. I actually always kind of liked her. Yeah, I don't mind Julia Roberts.
But it is what it is. I just she's just in too many things. I mean, the Pretty Woman thing also bothers me. I've never seen that movie in its entirety. I've fallen asleep every time I've tried to watch it.
I surprisingly don't hate that movie.
I just, for some reason, I do. I don't know why. It's not. I can't really tell you much about
I
the
like
middle,
it.
but I
There's
can
a
tell you the beginning and the end.
businessman. The businessman. He has a lot
I
of
fall
money.
asleep somewhere after the blowjob, and when she's like doing the whole makeover thing, and I remember the scene where she's trying to buy shit on, and they give her shit, and then all of a sudden I wake up and she's up on the terrace thing, and he's down there screaming up at her, and the whole Romeo and Juliet thing. Yeah, that's all I remember from that fucking movie.
Listen, these days you have all these rom-coms. I think that was one of the early ones that actually had a bit of character, and I thought that it was well cast, and it's pretty good. I don't know.
It is what it is. But anyway, Man Without a Face is our next one on the list. I barely remember this one. I remember it being okay.
I remember it being pretty good. I'd put
Yeah.
this at least a B.
Okay, we
Which
got a
one?
B, Man Without a Face.
Oh, that's a fantastic movie.
Remind me
Okay.
which one. What happens in
I
Man
think
Without-
wasn't he like a teacher or something like that, and then he
Yes.
has like a disfigurement.
Accident,
And,
Yeah.
disfigurement.
Yeah.
I recall this one being a bummer.
It was a bummer, yeah.
Well, bummer.
But
He-
yeah,
he
but like a
plays-
bummer, and I just sat there and felt like this is a bummer, and I don't remember getting anything out of the movie.
Well, it's he plays an ex-teacher. He's a recluse because he's disfigured, and this kid, this silver spoon kid, who's losing,
Right.
who's not hacking it in boarding school, but he wants to leave. He wants to get out of his house, and if he can't stay in the boarding school, he's going to have to go home, which to him would be terrible. And he has to talk Mel Gibson, who doesn't really want to see anybody because of his scars on his face, to tutor him so that he can stay in boarding school. And it's the unwilling hero story. It's an unwilling hero story. Gibson turns
All right,
out to
all
be the
right.
hero.
I'll
Yeah.
give it a B.
Most people have said A so far, but
Wow.
we got 6 joining us, and you said you've only seen 2 of these?
No, that was a joke. But
Okay, I hope so.
Because I did a quick scroll through Mel Gibson movies because I was trying to prep while I was waiting for my computer to restart. There's not a lot that I've seen, but I thought I'd pop in for 3 minutes.
Oh, you can pop in for as long as you like.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, we're talking about Man Without a Face. Did anybody else get a chance not to vote on this one yet?
Is this the one where the guy, he has scarring on his face and there's a little boy in it?
Yeah, he's a former teacher. Yep, with a little boy, and he tutors him. Yeah.
I saw this, and it's based on a book, and in the book, he does horrific things to the boy. Like the kinds of things that anyone within the sound of my voice would take a baseball bat to him for. So it always creeped me out. Sorry to bring
I think they
down.
left that shit out of the movie.
Yeah, they left it out of the movie. I know, but it like tainted my thought of the movie. So
now I don't know if
I would imagine that Mel Gibson would have said no if they'd said that was in the script. He'd have been like,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Damn.
All right.
I'm giving it a D.
You're giving it a D. Okay. Well,
wow.
The movie, I think, is at least better than the book in that respect, because I didn't even know that till now.
I'm kind of
right
glad
now it's
they
in the
didn't,
A, but
it's also not adhering to the source material.
But if you're giving it a D,
no, I can see you guys putting it in the A. I can definitely see you guys putting it in the A.
I can bring it down to B. I know.
Thank you, Nick, for getting
that. I was gonna say, did Gary just join us?
And Nick says put it in the D for Diddler.
Oh, Gary be very proud of Six right now.
Should we bring it down to B?
She skipped the back door, went to the front, and then brought the jokes.
Look, for me, it's an A movie, but given the information, you do what you want, you know.
Wasn't it like an award-winning?
I was going to say, I think he got nominated. Didn't he direct this one too? I'm trying to remember. Might have been one of his ones he directed. I just remember seeing it a lot on cable, and I have not seen it since then, but it's not a movie I've been like, oh, I got to get that one. I just remember that part. So, I mean, maybe I could, I feel better.
No, leave it in A. Majority
rules. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see how the audience is talking about Dragged Across Concrete. Have you seen that one, Six?
Which one?
Dragged Across Concrete. It's one of his newer ones. All right. So Dragged Across Concrete is getting some votes here. We're going to end the poll here in just a moment, because I doubt as many people have seen that one. I know it's one of his little lesser known ones. So give you a few more seconds. Hopefully we can get 50 votes in. Is there 2 more people out there who've seen it? Please vote. Please clap. No, nobody's voting. So we're going to end a poll. And another one's going into the B's. Just barely, but by 10 points. Drag Across Concrete is getting put in the B's. There you go. All right. Now we're getting to Ron. I believe this was directed by Ron Howard, wasn't it? Ransom?
Yeah, it was Ron Howard.
That was a good one.
I'm aware. Yeah, I liked Ransom.
Bring me back my son!
I give it
that was a good one.
I'd say somewhere between A or B. I'll let you guys decide, but A or B, I'm good with either.
B.
I can almost see an argument for this being in the S tier.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I like it
because it was
argument.
memed, and I just did the meme, right? Like, you guys knew exactly what the fuck I was doing. The fact that if you haven't even seen the movie, you still know it. When he's sitting there on TV and he's like, "You see this money? You're not getting 1 penny of it. None of it." I love that bit. Bring me back my son. It just.
That isn't a iconic line, but I'm with Price.
It is. All right, so we got a B. We got some A's. We got some C's and B's. All right, let's go down the panel. So 6, you said B. Nick, what do you say?
It's tough. I bounce around with this one. I'm gonna be extra generous. I'm gonna give it an A.
All right, so we got an A and a B. Red shirt.
Haven't seen it. I'll go with the majority.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nope. Haven't seen it.
You might enjoy it. It's kind of.
I'm making a list right now of the Mel.
It's a little melodramatic. I'm going to warn you up front, like it is, but it's exactly what you expect it to be. It's one of those kind of him and Rene Russo. Their son gets kidnapped. He's like a rich philanthropist. Can't remember what he does. If he's a philanthropist or what he is, But yeah, they got money, so their son gets kidnapped, and that's basically the setup. But yeah, it's pretty good because yeah, I gave away one of the better parts. Sorry about that.
All right.
But that's the shot that's on the poster right there. So there you go. So all right, so we didn't get to CC. What do you?
You know, who better to play that role than Mel Gibson? I mean, I can't.
Liam Neeson
honestly,
just tried to do it again later.
Well, he did, but Mel Gibson
Differently.
does it better than anybody, I think, and that does help. I can't say that I think it's the best movie that was ever made, but it's Mel Gibson doing one of his best things, right, that he could possibly do. So I could go either way, but I'm seeing a lot of A's in the chat, and that's fine with me. Again, it probably is B, but I see so many A's that I can agree with that. You know,
I give it a B.
You give it a B, Price? Okay, so CC gives it an A. Six gave it a B. Nick gave it an A. God, I'd almost make an argument for being
put
S
it to a vote in the chat. Honestly,
You know?
Yeah.
That's
'Cause I'm
actually a good discussion one. It's really tough because we all agree that it's good. I think where we're kind of all conflicted is how good do we view it?
I just look
Because
at it
our
as
Mel
it's one of his
Gibson
iconic films, right? Like it's like
it is.
Yeah.
I
I'm
agree
seeing
on
more
that.
A's and S's than I am B's.
all right. Well, I'm going to compromise and I'll put it in the A for now. But
Okay.
if not, maybe we'll think about that one because this next one too proves again how good of a father that he is. We got The Patriot.
Oh, S.
Yeah.
Come on. Don't even try.
That's what I'm saying. How can you put The Patriot in there, not Ransom too? I hate to use that goddamn argument. I hate it.
You hate The Patriot?
No, I hate that argument that if we're going to put this one in there, then you got to put the. No, I hate that. It's like, no, because I get it. To me, I love The Patriot, but to me, it's not as iconic as Ransom. See, that's the thing.
I agree with you, but then I mean, if I had to choose, I am still personally thinking of The
Patriot is probably the better film, is what you're about to say. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one. Is that the one with Heath Ledger, his son?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm thinking
Yep.
of the right movie. Yeah,
Where he
I'd
leaves
put
to
it in S for 6.
That's the thing is if I put that up there, now I'm really starting to think about Ransom.
Well, maybe you got to get it up.
Just put Ransom to a vote. Seriously.
You know, I think you're
Just
right.
put them all to a
right, so
vote.
let's put this in S tier, and I'm going to leave this up to the chat since we don't have a vote up right now anyway. Let the majority rule on this one.
I think we're all agreed it's not like a C or a D anyway.
Well, I'll give it up
for
to
sure.
C, but yeah, I mean, still, I think it's iconic enough that it belongs up there. But you guys didn't think so, so we'll keep moving on. Here's one I just watched the other day for the first time. We Were Soldiers.
A.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
Never seen it.
I'm going to go with an S on that. I've read the book. We Were Soldiers Once and Young is the book.
How good is it compared to the book? Because I do know it's
It
based
is
on
excellent. It is excellent compared to the book. They do it very well.
a lot of S's.
Yeah. This is probably one of the best Vietnam War movies ever made.
I got to agree with that.
I'm on board with it, actually. I think this is one of his best movies.
Price, what did you say?
I said I hadn't seen it, so I don't.
Okay.
Oh man, Bryce, you got to watch this.
Yeah,
You
Price.
Six,
It's a
did
good
you see
movie.
You got to watch this movie.
All right.
I
This is our-
unfortunately have never heard of it.
Okay.
Oh,
But based on what
It's like
Red Shirt
2
said, I'm
years
looking
ago.
it up right now.
2004
Ask
or
if
5,
we could do
something like that?
signs because she's got to
it
go.
is just
Okay.
briefly. It has a historical context. It is not just a fictional story.
No,
It
it's
tells
true
the story
yeah.
of the first air cavalry unit, which means that instead of horses, they were riding into battle in helicopters and Hueys, and they fight the Battle of the Yadrang Valley.
It's
which is
basically the first
famous.
major battle of Vietnam that the U.S.
Yes.
was involved in. Yeah.
It was huge, and it was the biggest battle by far by that time. So in historical terms, whether every single detail is correct, this is the story of the first really large battle of the Vietnam War, and it is an amazing film from an amazing book.
All right. Well, we'll put it up in S tier. 6 has got to leave us. So we're going to let 6 start with Signs since I guess that's one of the two you've seen.
Yes. Signs.
If you want,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you want to put the other ones that you have seen and put your rating real quick before you leave, that's cool too. But go ahead and give us your rating for Signs first.
Signs is an excellent movie. I know people have done a lot of pooping on M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, but I think it's brilliant. I think it totally brought a new angle to the jump scare when they have that videotape of the birthday party and then you see
the
through the
alien
window and the alien walks by.
Oh yeah,
I
I
love
love
that.
scene. I was at the theater opening night for that scene, and that was like a big whoa type of moment for
Yeah,
me.
and the way that they bring in the fact that he used to be a minister, and
Mhm.
then how his wife died, and you know the whole Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, love Joaquin Phoenix. So it hits all my points. So
All
that's
right, so you're
for
saying S
me.
tier?
That's S tier. Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and rate the other ones in the background if you want to before you head out, and then we'll go on with Nick. What do you say, Nick?
I'm bounced around between S and A, but if you want to go with an S, I get it. I mean, I was there opening night when that movie came out, and once again, that minute you saw the alien do that, and you see it on the TV when Joaquin Phoenix saying "Run, children, vamonos," and then and that moment, I was like, "Whoa, crud!" That's actually who would have thought just a regular looking alien would come off that haunting, but. It freaking worked. It freaking worked. Great performance from Gibson, by the way. Absolutely stellar. And the fact that he had this arc of basically his falling from grace arc and then basically renewing his faith by the end of the movie, absolutely stellar.
Okay, so 6 has got to go. I was going to say if you didn't have any other ones you wanted to rate, but oh, well, she just left. I was going to let her say goodbye. But all right. Well, thank you for popping by, 6. We appreciate it. So we got 2 S tiers rating now for Signs. What about you, Red Shirt?
This one I've just written down because I haven't seen it, but
All right,
I am now
CC?
going to see it for sure.
This
CC?
is my favorite M. Night movie.
Really?
It's not a question for me, and it's definitely an S. It's also a Roger Ebert 4-star movie. You can read his review if you like. But what I really sorry,
That's probably why I never saw it.
fair enough.
Because for years I used Roger Ebert as a weather vane for which movies not to watch.
Totally fair. And some people do hate this movie. I teach their own. Just for me, I hate it when they just show you the scary things over and over again. It's all like this movie is completely all about not showing you the threat. But and that just there's so much great tension for it in me. With that movie, even at the end when they're in the basement, you don't see the aliens. You feel the presence of the aliens and the threat that they're presenting, right? So I think it's just masterclass for me. Anyways, S tier.
Price.
I think it's a B.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I'm going to have to agree a little bit with Price. This was not one that I thought was that great. It was good up until the ending is what killed it for me. The water thing, the swing away, the whole...
Yeah,
it was almost like because M. Night Shyamalan like forced a twist ending, it felt like to me.
Right. I tend to
M. Night,
agree with
yeah.
you that he really wanted that twist. And in addition, it never gave me the feeling of like an A or S level when I watched it. I thought that this was I'm not sorry I saw it, and I don't dislike the movie, but it doesn't rise above a B for me.
But the majority has said S so far, so we have to take that in consideration. You said B.
I've also seen a lot of mix in the chat too, to be fair.
I
And I know
so,
that
like,
it is mixed overall as far as how people feel about it. So I'm not demanding it has to be an S, right? But for me, it is personally.
I'm gonna put it in the A level. I know
It's
this is
probably a fair
almost one like
compromise.
Ransom. This is kind of one, and it's kind of cool that it's next to Ransom because I would almost make even though I don't like this one as much, I could buy somebody making the argument for Signs that I made for Ransom earlier, right? Because it was a big, huge success. Everybody's seen it. It still gets parodied and quoted, much like Ransom. So like, those are 2 right now that I could see. Maybe we'll do a poll on Signs here in a bit. But the next one is a bit more controversial. Payback. Because I actually prefer Mel Gibson's cut of this movie, and I love it and adore it. So to me, it would be like an S tier movie, but I can understand some people are not a big fan of this because it is actually based on a book and is technically a remake of Point Blank. So yeah, Nick, let's start with you. Or actually, you just muted, so I'll let you. Or you're good. Good to go.
I'm good. Okay. I'll go with
what's
an
your
A.
thoughts on Payback? Okay, so
I'll go with an A. I still need. It's been a while since I've seen the Mel Gibson cut, but I remember at the time really enjoying this. Granted, I don't know the story point blank, so I'm just judging it basically on a Mel Gibson Payback movie. But I enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it, actually.
All right, Red Shirt.
Haven't seen it.
Have you seen the original one
Point Blank.
with shit? God, what the hell's his name?
No, actually, I don't think I've seen the original Point Blank because I just realized I was thinking Point Break.
Yeah. No, it's way earlier.
Keanu
It's the '70s. I'm trying to remember the actor that's in it now. You might remember it, but if not, you've never seen it.
That's something I gotta give credit for too. When they were like, okay, the story is different enough, we might as well change the name. And they changed the name.
Lee Marvin. That's who I was trying to think of. Lee Marvin's in the original one. Yes. Thank you, guys. So yeah, it's actually based on a book, and the character is Parker, which Jason Statham played the character as well. This character has actually been played by quite a few different people. Though Point Blank is based on Westlake's Parker, but changed the name to Walker. I recall. I haven't seen Payback, only Point. And I believe Point Blank actually follows the novel a little bit closer, if I'm not mistaken. And also, depending on which cut you go with, the darker cut, the director's cut, I think is a little bit closer to the book, but I don't like the tone. Because the tone that's in the Mel Gibson cut is a lot lighter and makes it more of a comedy. And it works better, and it has a happier ending. So it's like Casablanca and Gremlins 2. It just works better for me. I like the whole idea of what, because the humor of the movie is that he just wants the whatever it is, like $75,000 or $80,000 that he was stolen. That's all he wants back. So he's taken down the entire mob over this piddly amount, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the joke. And like you even get like the one main guy, he's like, I got suits that cost more than that. So like he's like, what is it? The principal? Yes. So like I love that aspect of the character, and they also have the scene where he beats the hell out of his ex in the director's cut, and I don't like that, and some other things like that, and it's just darker overall, and the ending is the more ambiguous ending. So I like Payback a lot. I would almost put it S tier. So Price, have you seen it? CC, have you seen it? Either one of you?
I feel like I've seen it, but I don't quite remember. It sounds very familiar what you're saying, but I don't quite remember it. So I don't want to. I must have seen it once many years ago. I don't know. It's not fair that I would
70K.
give a grade.
That's
I feel like I would need to remember more of it.
I'm more familiar with it than I am Ransom. It's the one that just kind of, for me at least, gave me that notion of Mel Gibson in this kind of role.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I would. That's the one I would have put where Ransom is, just for my familiarity. But again, I haven't seen it in a few years, but I have good memories of it. Also, VR Raid.
Oh, well, hello,
Welcome.
everybody from Valiant. Thank you
Huge
for the
VR
raid,
raid.
Valiant. Thank you so much.
Huge.
Yeah, basically, I think James Colburn's in both cuts, but Chris Christopherson, I think, is only in the Mel Gibson cut. See, because they changed the lead bad guy. It's only, you only hear her on the phone in the director's cut. You don't actually see her, I don't think.
It's so weird that there's
Yeah.
such a significant change between the two versions.
Well, it's because Mel Gibson kind of took over the production, is what it was.
Whoa, so wait, what happened? Who initially was the director?
I'm trying to remember. He was a younger guy, clearly out of his league. Brian Hegland.
So what happened? He started filming and then they kicked him out? What happened?
Oh, he's finished the film, but Gibson took over in the editing, and I think he did the reshoots with Chris Christopherson and shit like that. And rumor is that he directed those bits.
And then which one came out to the movie theater?
His the Gibson version is what came out in theaters, and then after Gibson was canceled, then the studio let the director go back in and do his director's cut. So it was kind of a fuck you cut to Mel Gibson.
Ah.
because his character basically dies at the end.
So which one do you prefer?
Spoilers. The Mel Gibson cut.
Okay.
Because it's got more humor. It's more of a Mel Gibson movie. And the other one's a downer, and it makes Porter a really shitty character.
I see. That's good to know. So how do you know that you're watching the real one and not the phony one?
In the U.S., technically, you can legally only get the director's cut on Blu-ray, but if you import it, it has both versions on it, if I remember right. So that's what I got, and it's region free, so you can watch it on any player.
If you go
I'll hook you up.
I mean, if you go to a streaming service or a streamer, or do they just have a regular?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to.
All right.
Because I'm trying to remember. I think it was on Max the last time I had, or because that's the weird thing. Because internationally, that's the other problem. Is internationally, it's owned by like Paramount and Warner Brothers, but I don't remember which one owns it here in the U.S. and which one owns. I think Warner Brothers owns it internationally. In the U.S., it's Paramount, and Paramount put out the director's cut in the U.S. on Blu-ray, and that's it. But outside of the U.S., you get both versions. So I don't know. I would say S tier, but you guys are kind of more in the A tier. Is that what it sounded like? I can buy more of an A tier movie.
Now that you're talking about all this, I don't know
I'm
which
more
version
of an A,
I watched.
but that's me. I'm flexible. I'm not like
if you watch.
I don't hold this to me like the way I do. Let's just say Signs or Ransom or The Patriot. So,
like I said, if you remember Chris Christopherson in the movie, then you saw the Mel Gibson cut. If you don't remember Chris Christopherson in the movie, then you didn't.
Oh wow,
that's what I was trying to say before, because that's the big difference. Because in the director's cut, the bad guy is just some chick over the phone. I can't remember who does the voice. It's like Judi Dench or somebody like that. I can't remember who it is. And then in the Mel Gibson cut, he actually brought Chris Christopherson in, and he has a little bit bigger, beefier role.
By the way, Paulie was saying that Brian Hegland is brilliant because he won an Oscar, but I think he won an Oscar for writing. I don't see that he won an Oscar for directing.
Yeah, but my point was back then he was still green.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, really? Is it Chris? Or is it then? It's either him or James Coburn that are replaced. One of the two. I can't remember now. It's been so long since I've seen the other version. Somebody correct me in the chat, please. Okay, so if one of them has one or the other in it, James Coburn or Chris Christopherson is not in the other version. That's all I remember. And then the rumor was, is Sally Kellerman on the phone? Okay. Yeah, so Sally Kellerman does the voice in the other version. And it's kind of, because also the third act is completely different, too. That's the other thing. Because in the Mel Gibson version, he kidnaps Chris Christopherson's son. In the theatrical cut, I don't think he kidnaps his son. They do something completely different. So it was it James Coburn who's not in the other version? That's the difference. Okay.
I think he's more known for screenwriting than directing, but am I wrong?
Well, he did like Knight's Tale and some other stuff, yeah. Okay, so guys, make up my mind. Is it Chris is or isn't in the director's cut? Because I'm trying to remember which. Sally Kellerman is in one, and then one of the others in the other. Because yes, it's only over the phone, and it's the same scene, but you don't see the actor. But in the other version, you see the actor, and it's like, I'm going to shoot him if you don't pay me. And he's like, well, what if I say no? And I'm going to shoot him then. He's like, all right, well then my answer is no. Bang. It's like.
Well, I'll let you guys decide what you want to do with it. I think that I don't remember enough.
We'll leave it in the A's. Jesus, we spent way too long.
Keep it in the A. Otherwise, we're gonna be here a while. This one.
Okay, Brian. I trust Brian. He's pretty pedantic about this stuff. So, yes, I was right in the first place. That's what I thought. Because the last time I watched it was like a year ago, and yeah, that's what I thought. So, all right. Anyway, Maverick, you guys gonna have to do this one because this is one I actually don't remember very well.
I saw this one and I thought it was good. Now I'll be honest, I haven't revisited it, but I feel like this was a good movie. This was still kind of, peak Mel Gibson time where you just, there's a movie with Mel Gibson and you go see it in the theater, and I think it's sort of a Western. It's based, I think, on a TV show.
Yes, it's based on the TV show.
And what was cool is that they incorporated, as opposed to today when they're all jerk-offs, they managed to incorporate the original actor from the series in a very clever way, yet also give like Mel Gibson the chance to sort of star in it. a lot of times I think today they don't do it properly, but I thought that from what I recall, I think that they did it nicely there. And even Jodie Foster, this is like before she, not that there's anything wrong with that, but at some point she kind of pivoted more, to ladies, liking ladies. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. In any case, she's still, she's kind of likable in this movie. Maybe one of Jodie Foster's more likable roles is this one. Not that I'm saying that after she liked ladies, she wasn't likable, but I feel like in this part, she still wants to give a vibe that like is like pleasant for men, if that makes sense. Well, yeah, Price, I understand what you're saying.
Good to go. I'm sure I saw it. I just can't remember it. I never got into Westerns back in the day. I still haven't. I have a lot of catching up to do with the whole genre.
My memory's blurry on Maverick, so I'd have to.
It was good.
It was a in the chat.
Lighthearted Western, fun. Had good humor in it, but also like fun as whatever that Western was. I remember really kind of enjoying it. I mean, I would give it. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I've seen a lot of B's and A's. Yeah.
Well,
I may have given it an A, but if somebody insists on a B, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
I see enough A's. What would you say, Red Shirt? Because
I've seen the original.
Yeah.
The TV series, which had James Garner playing Brett Maverick, and he hands the torch off because he's in the movie as Marshall Zane Cooper. So he was not embarrassed by this in order to stay the hell away from it. He actually played a role in Mel Gibson's version of Maverick. And I actually liked the movie a lot better than the television series. The television series was almost as corny as the Wild Wild West.
I remember getting a lot of good ratings from the critics and the audience at the time. So I think A is probably a good spot for it.
I think it is. I would agree with that. It was a good one.
Do you remember now? Can you just tell me that if I'm not mistaken, that this was still in a point of time where Jodie Foster played it like in a way that appeals more to men than usual?
This was before she was lesbian, if that's what you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
She was lesbian, but she hadn't come out of the closet publicly
right,
yet.
But I mean in the role, like she's like, how do I be like? I think she's presented in this kind of charming way that's like appealing to men. More than things late. I feel like from the second that like she went more open with her real life thing, she became less involved in roles that required her to.
Yes, I get where you're going at it, and I think so from my memory. Yeah, she was pretty well received in this role. Yeah, at the time.
I think that I'm right on this. It sounds bad. It sounds awful what I'm saying, and I sound like an ist, like in a terrible.
No, but I
person.
totally get where you're coming from. She kind of became unattractive to men after she.
Well, she started playing to a different audience.
Right. It's like she started choosing roles also that don't appeal to men. Like she made a shift, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to embrace like what I genuinely, prefer. And I don't have an issue with that. I'm just saying that this was one of the last times that you walk into a movie that you don't know anything. It has Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster, and they're very playful throughout the movie. And she's sneaky.
Well, her and Mel Gibson have great chemistry, and that's why it works.
Right.
And, they ended up making the Beaver together and stuff like that. So like,
she's like a sneaky lady in this one, but in a good way. I mean, sneaky, almost like, I don't even know if to say femme fatale. I haven't seen it in a long time, but like she's a sneaky lady that's always like pulling a fast one on him. But throughout their interactions, there's a lot of like really great on-screen chemistry. And I dare say that it's one of the best movies from what I recall, like Jodie Foster looking her best in this one.
I think we got your point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I think the next one is probably an S tier one that we don't even need to argue about. They'll never take our freedom.
Yes.
Braveheart.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
I love this movie. It's the best movie.
He won the Oscar for it. I mean,
you don't
is there any argument?
You don't like this movie? You're wrong.
Yeah.
I don't care how inaccurate it is.
Exactly. I don't care how historically.
The dialogue is great. Who cares if it's?
This is a man's man movie right here.
Dude,
that's what this
straight
is.
up. We still have yet to do this one. Maybe this will be the year we finally do Braveheart.
Yeah.
I can't believe you haven't yet, right? Like
I can't believe it either.
This feels like it'd be one of the first Toxic Tuesday films to do. I mean, shit.
Hey, that goes to show you how much we've done and how much we still have yet to do. So that's good. Shit, we still haven't even done Black Dynamite, and that's incredible
Epic fucking
too.
film.
All right, shall we move forward?
Yeah, like I said, I don't think there was much we could really say about
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I mean, Chicken Run's next. This is one that it's
S.
fun.
S.
I don't know how iconic you would. Oh, you really going to argue S tier for this one?
I'm
CC?
gonna go with
for
For
it.
me,
S.
oh yeah.
I
This is one of my
rewatched
favorite
this.
movies ever. Period.
I'm with CC. I
What?
rewatched this, and the claymation's held up, and it's still very fun. I have such a joy
Oh,
watching
yeah.
these movies. I'm like, man, I wish they did more of these types of movies. This movie, like, I loved it then. I think I like it even more now.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
Wallace
hard
and
to get me
Gromit-
to laugh. It's hard to get me to laugh my ass off, but this movie does it.
The animation in this comes straight out of Wallace and Gromit. It's the same two guys,
Yes.
and they are those shows are beloved in England. They say,
But he's not in the sequel.
No, but we're talking about the first Chicken Run, not the sequel.
I know,
right?
but what they did to him in the sequel, that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, it's almost
Yeah.
like, does it deserve to be up there? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too much of a jerk.
If they never made the second movie, I don't think I would have any question this is an S.
That's what I'm
I
getting at
just
now,
don't.
like, yeah.
I don't consider the second movie.
but there are only 3 Indiana Jones movies, and I don't
Well,
care.
exactly.
Fair
Exactly.
point.
Bingo. And as far as I'm concerned, there's one Chicken Run, and I loved it.
See, and
I
I'm
own
sitting here like with Resolute Germ. I'm like, it's B tier at best, but all right.
I'm
I'm not-
gonna double down.
You
and
gotta-
say
We got
you
too
gotta
many.
there.
Too many.
It's
Too many people.
like anime. If you can get past the animation art style, you'll love anime. I
Well-
can't get past the animation art style.
I think it's a B.
I know. I'm kind of with you, Price, and that's kind of where we're at now. So I'm wondering if we shouldn't give it to the audience.
I love Wallace and Gromit as well, so I am definitely
loved
biased.
all of them.
See,
I
and
love all the
Nick's
All
Wallace
right.
and
So
Gromit.
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in the A for now, and we're going to ask
All
the
right.
audience
All right.
because we got to get to some super chats here too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
The super
Chicken
chat.
Run. Can't type tonight. S-A-E-C. All right, you guys are going to pick Chicken Run. And while you guys are picking Chicken Run, we're going to go through some more super chats. We got Lost for Words, who sends in a 5-pound super sticker. See if I can see what it is here.
What is the super sticker?
It is a Keep It Up pair. Thank you so much for that, Lost for Words. A bra would usually keep a pair up.
Oh.
And then Nick the Greek says, Tom, stop being unpatriotic and put the Patriot in the S tier. No! Well, I listened to you, Nick the Greek. I did. Then SFX F314 Sabretooth Raptor sends a 5 and says, some of the S tier ones, Braveheart, Patriot, We Were Soldiers, Lethal Weapons 1 through 4, and Mad Max. Well, we haven't got to some of those yet, but we will shortly. And I think you got a good, I think you can bet on most of those probably ending up in that arena. Samuel Main gifted a membership. Thank you for that. Beat Bop Boop sends in a pound $4.99 and says, or 4.99 pence, or however you say it. Braveheart is easily Gibson's finest hour. I can't argue with that too much. An absolute diamond of a motion picture. Even Trump said it. It's the greatest movie he's ever seen. Freedom! Yeah, this is one of his favorite films, isn't it?
Yeah,
right.
it is.
What's the other one that he watches all the time? I'm trying to remember. He even
Air
had
Force One?
No. It's a Patrick Swayze movie. I'm trying to remember. Was it Roadhouse? I
Probably
think it's Roadhouse.
I could
I think
see
it's
him like
Roadhouse.
What
he's
about it?
Roadhouse.
What about Roadhouse?
He has it like on his plane and shit, like to where he can watch. He's got like 5 or 6 favorite movies, and we kind of know them all about this. I bet that's funny. But that's maybe we should do is like a special Toxic Tuesday and find out whatever Trump's favorite movies are and do them.
Well, we did Roadhouse early days. That was like episode 10 or something.
Even
but-
if you do them all in one episode, I'm just saying.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I
the
mean?
Trump edition. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It's actually a good idea.
And then Action Com says, sing signs from He 5 Man Electric Band. Is that the signs? Signs everywhere. The signs blocking up the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that. Can't you read the signs? Is that the song? I think so. Hopefully I got it right. And there you go. Hopefully you got your $2 worth on that one. All right, let's move on here. We'll get back to the poll here in just a minute. We got Machete Kills, where I believe he plays the bad guy in it. If I remember right, but I don't think I've seen the Machete Kills. I think I've only seen the first one. Anybody here on the panel seen it?
No.
The
I
first one.
saw it once.
Oh, it's the second one, I believe.
I think it was. I'd give it like a B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody
B.
besides Nick? All right, I guess not. So Nick says B. We're gonna put it in the B's for now, and we get a couple C's and D's in the chat and B. I don't know. So I was gonna say I think I remember people not liking that one as much. Neil Gaiman's Homemade Truffle Butter sends in 5 and says, when you're done, make a final cut. You get to keep 5 S and 12 A tier films. Maybe we'll keep that in consideration. We'll see how it looks when we're done. Sometimes I like to get a little OCD, but all right. Oh yeah, Paulie says it sucked. So Paulie says it sucked.
Yeah.
Machete
how he
don't play.
feels.
I mean, yeah, and where is Machete in space? Machete don't text. That was a great story. Anyhow, let's move on here and find out what women want. Is that an S tier or is it an A tier or is it a B tier?
I really enjoyed it.
This is gonna probably be the least kindest I'll ever be to one of his movies. I'm gonna go the D here.
You like the D? What?
I'll tell you what the issue with the movie is that, and sorry, I know again, I'm going to sound really bad here, and I don't know how to make myself sound good, but I don't think he'd ever like Helen Hunt.
All right, fair enough.
But the movie, it kind of comes off that way in the movie. Like, maybe that is the point. Maybe he was supposed to like her, but I always thought like he really doesn't.
I feel like it would have helped me more if there was like an actress that kind of had better chemistry with him.
I don't think that could have saved this. I think
I'm trying to remember. I actually enjoyed it. I do know it was one of his bigger films as far as box office.
Oh yeah, it did very well. I remember like I had a lot of friends
but
in middle school
the audience
that liked
is
this.
like going with you guys. I'm seeing a lot of C's and B's and even some D's. So
it became watchable because of him. I found myself somewhat enjoying it because of his
I think the
performance.
concept is what helps sell it, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing. It was kind of one of the last original comedies, and it's almost perfect that he's in it because the studio would have almost like normally misunderstood what they had here and turned around and did like a Jim Carrey or somebody like that. When it's inspired that it's Mel Gibson. Now I can't argue too much with Helen Hunt because she is one of those actresses that she has chemistry only with a specific few, right? I won't deny that. Paul Reiser and Bill Paxton are like the only two that I can think of off the top of my head where she's had any chemistry with.
I don't know. I've always felt about her that she's not my preference.
She's kind of an unlikable actress. I get it. She has that bitchy quality about her. Like, I like her and as good as it gets, but I don't like that her and Jack Nicholson get together. You know what I mean? Like, that part of the movie is the only part that really feels a little left field.
Nicholson carries that movie.
He does, totally. Well, him and Greg Kinnear, those two together.
Right, that's true. But I'd say, like, the most heavy lifting there is basically, the as good as it gets, it's as if they brought a roll of used toilet paper.
Anybody could have played her part. That's the point I was kind of getting to.
They brought a roll of used toilet paper to Jack Nicholson, and he somehow made a meal of it.
It works for me in this movie because I didn't need to like her. I loved that Mel Gibson just carried the movie, and he was awesome. It looked like he was having a fun time with it.
I guess
and when he was really just pissed off at her, I was like, yeah, I'm pissed off at her too.
The concept works with him, and that's my point, right? Like, take her out of the equation for a moment. Just the concept alone, when the movie came out, the way it's kind of one of the last bastions, because like they did remake it, but it was what men want, of course.
Right.
So,
with
Yeah,
what's
I
her
forgot
name?
that
With
oh God,
Taraji B. Henson.
yeah, Henson. I was gonna say Washington, but it's Henson. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
I
was
saw
trying to
that one, and it wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't as good as the Mel Gibson one, which even that's not really my preference of a movie. But you know what? I'm gonna surprise myself here and say it was a B.
think.
I'm going
We're
A.
getting kind of low levels.
I see
Paulie is
Samuel in the
right
chat
though.
saying he
She
slaps
was
Helen
very
Hunt in
popular
the
at the time, and I remember when I was not a fan of this movie, I was absolutely in a minority, and everyone.
I'm gonna put it
liked
in A for now, but let's see what the audience says about Chicken Run. Because if Chicken Run moves or doesn't move, I'll maybe make a decision on an executive decision on that. How's that sound?
Oh,
Since
Chicken
we got a
Run
new
moved.
exec-
pretty
executive.
firmly in A. Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuck in A. So
Polly loves Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move it down to B, even though I enjoy it quite a bit. There's been enough in the chat, and you guys on the panel have kind of given it a bit of a
That makes me
This
sad.
is Mel
Beating.
Gibson
Okay.
flick.
a bit of a beating. So I'm gonna put it down to the B for the beating. All right, get the Gringo. This is one I have not seen yet, but I've wanted to see.
Haven't seen it.
It's
Haven't.
supposed to be really good.
Neither. Nope.
Nobody on the panel?
Guess not.
Well, I guess it's a good thing I ended the poll because we need to do a new poll.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, get the Gringo is called. It's from the producers of Braveheart and one of his other movies. I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah.
But I can't imagine it'd be bad enough to go in the D tier, so we'll go SABC here, guys. All right, it's up to you guys. Let us know. Is it any good? Then we're getting to Tequila Sunrise with Kurt Russell and Michelle Pfeiffer. Anybody Bueller?
I've seen it, but it's something forgettable. It's like is
I
there
remember the soundtrack more than I do the movie. That's the problem.
is there like a heist? What happens in that movie? I'm trying to think. What do they do? These three characters. I simply don't. I've seen the movie and I couldn't tell you what it's about. I remember
Looking up the synopsis. Sorry.
I thought there was a
in
heist.
Seaside, California town, best friends Mac, Mel Gibson, and Nick, Kurt Russell, are opposite sides of the law. Mac is a former drug dealer trying to clean up his act, while Nick is a high-profile detective trying to take down a Mexican drug lord named Carlos, played by Raul Julia. Now I got to see this. Soon Nick's... I just don't remember it. Nick's loyalties are put to the test when he begins an affair with restaurateur Joanne, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, a love interest of Max, unwittingly leading his friend into a police-orchestrated trap. Dun, dun, dun. Actually, it sounds pretty good. Did pretty well at the box office, too. Holy shit. $100 million for 1988? Damn. I just don't remember it. I think I seen this when I was really young. That's why.
I've seen it. I've seen it once when I was young. Everything that you're saying sounds like I can envision me seeing it. I know what this movie is,
Got
but
some
it's been
A's
so
and
many
B's.
years. And obviously, it didn't leave. I've seen all these movies, or a lot of them, and this one didn't leave much of an impression on me. So I think that it was probably one of those like just serviceable enough situations, from what I
We're
remember.
getting a lot of B's and A's and quite goods. And we got a Brian. Has Brian seen Tequila Sunrise?
I have seen Tequila Sunrise.
And would you think B is a good spot for it?
I
or should
think
it
B
go?
is an excellent spot for it.
Well, there you
I
go.
think so,
That
too.
settles it.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
How
Pretty
you
damn
doing?
good. Oh, I'm doing well, my friend. Sorry I'm late.
Nah,
High
you're fine.
70s.
We're just
Hello.
getting to the turkey now. You haven't
We're getting
noticed.
to the thick.
As
of
we
it.
got the gravy to go with it, then we're
Oh
okay.
God, yes, sir. Hamlet. We got ham here. Look at that. You know, this
Slice it.
movie is probably more famous for what it is than the actual movie is good. So I remember seeing it, and it was like one of the most boring things I ever sat through in my life. Even
Which
though I
one?
knew
Yeah.
Hamlet.
Not the best Shakespeare adaptation.
Not his best
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, it was kind of ambitious. I remember it being
C or
kind of a
D
joke.
for me.
I've never
We're
watched
getting
it.
B's. Yeah.
To be or not to be, it's truth.
I was trying to remember what the gimmick was. There was a little gimmick in it, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I was seeing this in the chat. The Brenna did a fantastic job.
As I say, the
This-
Branagh one was the
yeah.
more superior version. Yes.
Yeah.
We even got
Yeah.
some D's and C's in the
Yeah,
chat.
I'm in the D category for this movie.
Let's
I'm
bring it
not a
down. I was gonna say
fan.
there's something I'm trying to remember. What was the gimmick about it that really ruined it? There was something about it. I'm trying to remember.
It had Mel Gibson playing Hamlet.
Besides that, yeah.
What do you need another gimmick?
No, but it did.
I don't know, this was the Zeffirelli, wasn't it? So it had an arty
Yes,
director, art house director.
Yeah, there was something about it though that turned the audience off, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point.
Is it? I don't know. I can't
It's
think.
just
Was it?
Go on.
He had a black buddy cop friend, and they were crime fighters. Oh no,
I
it's a
can't
different
find
movie.
anything here as far as like any controversy or anything, although it did pretty much not do that great at the box office. It did get critical acclaim. Was
Just watch
nominated
the
for
better
2
Hamlet.
Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Still, a lot of nice Scottish castles were used, so it did look quite good.
Was it the accent? I can't believe it. I swear it was more than that. There had to be more than that was wrong with it. Something to do with the dialogue, maybe? I'm trying to remember. Now, was this the one that they filmed almost like a live play, or was that more the Branagh one? I'm trying to remember. That might have been it.
Well, I mean,
Pretty
there's
sure that was
only so
Brenna.
much you can do with it. I mean, it's Hamlet.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on here. We got Mutiny on the Bounty. I've actually seen this one.
I've actually not seen this one.
Anthony Hopkins and Mel Gibson.
I think it's an excellent movie.
I'd say it was pretty good from what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen it.
At least B or A tier.
I'd be tempted to put it as A tier. That's just me. I thought it was an excellent.
Got some
Movie.
A's, S's, a B, S.
Although, like all these things, not
B.
quite historically accurate.
No. But I remember it being kind of a. I think it didn't make as much money at the box office as it cost. It was a big, huge budgeted film. I'm trying to remember who directed it. Was it Wolfgang? Was it not Wolfgang Peterson? It was, you got some A's.
Roger
B's.
Donaldson.
Roger Donaldson.
Oh,
Okay.
Roger
I'm trying to
Donaldson.
remember. Otherwise, there was another big thing about it too. I think it cost a shit ton of money or something like that. Let's throw it in the B's for Bounty.
Always, like always, they always treat Bly as the absolute supervillain of the story, but in real life he wasn't that bad, and his survival story in reality was an incredible story. How he led his little boat of men to safety
Yeah.
after being ditched, but they never do
Yes.
that. They never do that story.
They don't.
Mhm.
And actually, Bly's biggest sin as a captain was that he was too lenient,
Yes.
and he didn't enforce discipline with sufficient severity to keep the crew in line, and they didn't take him seriously. And he's been the
Pauly
villain
says-
in the story ever since the first movie.
Pauly says F the colonizers. All right, let's keep moving along. We got Forever Young, even though I don't think that song is in the movie. I do remember this movie fairly well. I don't know if
I
you guys
love
do
it.
or not.
Yeah.
Um,
They don't make
The,
movies like this anymore.
after his
Yeah.
true love, Isabel Glasser, played by, falls into a coma. Test pilot Daniel McCormick, played by Mel Gibson, undergoes suspended animation in a military experiment conducted by a friend, Harry Finley, played by George Wendt. Supposed to be a year, and he's in there for 53 years. So yeah, that's what it was.
Written by J.J. Abrams.
So it was
as well.
Idiocracy before Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Was it written by J.J. Abrams?
It was written by J.J.
I
Abrams.
say he did also Regarding Henry. That's right.
I've seen this once and once only, so it's very
Steve
difficult.
Miner directed this. Holy shit! Sorry,
Yeah,
I mean,
very difficult to comment on it because I've only seen it once.
It did 128 million dollars in the box office. Holy shit! Wow, it did better than I thought it did.
It's just a shame the song isn't in it. It would have got an extra point for that.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Jamie Lee Curtis was in it too, and Elijah Wood was the kid. That I remember.
I've seen it once, and I thought it was just okay from what I remember. I would give it a B.
I like it. I'm trying to decide if it would go from A or B. What about you, Red Shirt? Do you remember it, or Nick?
I have
Anybody?
not seen it. I'll be honest.
Haven't seen.
I couldn't give it more than a B. I don't
It's
think
kind
it's
of
as
got like
bad as
this
a
fish
C.
out of water kind of like comedy element to it, along with a sweet love story thing. And
I thought it worked. I mean, I would have given it an A, and then I
it's
realized
kind of like
that
Captain
JJ
America
wrote it,
without the
and now
superpowers.
It's like if JJ wrote it, I have to go back and watch it again and see if it's
Well,
not
because
as good
JJ
as it-
probably just ripped off Captain America.
yeah. But
It's like, what if Captain America didn't have any superpowers?
It's almost a C plus.
I feel,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
the movie sold the emotion of him coming back into her life. You know.
All right, let's go with B. Fuck it. It's memorable enough, but not enough where everybody's arguing about it. So let's go with see what the audience is saying for Gringo. We're ending the poll now. And with 38% of the votes, just barely beating out A, Gringo goes into the B. The B category is getting very fat. Very fat. So let's get some movies in the S and the A tier here.
Well,
All
to,
right,
to
we're-
his credit, at least he doesn't have a bunch of D's here.
No, I don't think he's going to wind up with many at all. Because I left a lot of those crappy straight-to-streaming movies. That's why.
Some of his early Aussie stuff.
Yeah, I started with Mad Max, basically.
Yeah.
But anyhow, before we
that,
get there, we got Lethal Weapon 4, one that I actually do not hate. I enjoy quite a bit. I saw it like 3 times in the theater, believe it or not.
Wow.
Lethal Weapon 4, I don't want to be mean, but from what I remember, I think it's a B.
Jet Li kicks ass in it, though.
Wow. Imagine
does.
saying, I don't want to be mean, but I'm giving this a B. And imagine that we need a
That's-
No,
You
Yeah,
had to
it's a
tell
C.
Jet Li to slow down.
So if you give it a C, that would be a hanging offense.
No,
Right,
I
no,
love the
I-
making of it.
The thing
I'm
is
sorry.
that, you know, I really like the Lethal Weapon movies, but I feel like the first one would be an S tier, and then, you know, maybe 2 and 3 maybe can be an A, and I feel like 4 is a B.
What were you about to say,
Actually-
Red Shirt?
Actually, I was just going to say, just adding Jet Li and the fight between Riggs and Jet Li in this is just elevates it. I'd probably put one of the either 2 or 3 in a B category, but I'd put this as A.
Yeah, this is a tough series to argue because I think we're going to have a lot of. This is the one I knew we were going to kind of hit some speed bumps.
Some bumps. For me, four is a B because of Jet Li. And I
I
would
love
go,
the making of it when they got to tell, like you got Richard Donner going, you got to slow down. The camera's not picking you up. You're going too fast.
2 and 3, I'd go with an A, and then 1, I'd go with an S.
The same thing that I said, I think.
Yes.
Literally,
It's
I'm
a
with
B.
Price on that.
It's a B because mainly because of Jet Li, but it's a B.
What about Chris Rock?
Yeah, he was all right.
That doesn't help.
Oh no. Oh no. But Joe Pesci catches a shark.
Joe Pesci is the reason that the Joe Pesci's the reason that the sequels are A's. I mean,
Exactly.
You know
come on.
what? Maybe I could put 4 above 3, but I don't know.
All right. Here's the problem is everybody's going to have their differences of opinions on the Lethal Weapon series after 1. I know this because look, I'm not a big fan of part 2 outside of Joe Pesci. It's okay. But the third act of part 2 sucks because they kill his girlfriend for no good fucking reason just to make him go Mad Mel again. 3 is the probably best of the sequels. Why? Because it
I
actually
agree.
lets the characters grow, and Rene Russo, her fucking chemistry adding to the mix worked so well. And that to me, it feels like it carried over into 4, but I understand a lot of people don't like 4 as much. So that being said, we're gonna have to make some hard decisions here. So I think we're all on the same page when we say the first one clearly, without argument, disagreement, no fucking qualms
Correct.
whatsoever. First one's definitely S tier. Not
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
All right, part 4. All right, I'm gonna have to listen to you
It's
guys.
a C plus.
I like 3 better than 4. I'll say that.
See, all right, see, and that's kind of where I'm at. So
Don't complicate
I'm gonna
Tom
go
better
with the
than we already
arguments with you
have.
guys that it's going into B. We're gonna put 3 into the A category because part 2 I feel like is the one we're gonna argue the most over.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad movie. I like 2. I really no. I'd say 3
That
is
third
better,
act is a rough.
but I feel like
act.
it's better than 4.
All right.
I would say so, although it's a very
I'm
cartoony villain. The villain's
I'm
a bit of a cartoon.
1, 3,
Joss
2,
Ackland.
4 kind of guy. 1, 3, 2, 4.
Can we live with this? 3 and 2 in the A category and 4 in the B category, even though I disagree with it. What about you
I
guys?
can live with that.
I can live
I
with
don't
it.
think Jet Li. I don't think Jet Li elevates 4 as much for everybody as it does for me. I'm a fan.
Because it's
I'm
got
a fan of-
karate in it, motherfucker. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of the one movie that Jet Li and oh Christ, Jackie Chan were in together, and it's a kids movie. But I love the damn thing.
I remember that. What's it called again? I
The
remember really
Forbidden
liking
Kingdom.
Forbidden Kingdom.
Oh, that one,
Um,
yeah.
Oh God!
Look, here's
I
my
gotta buy
point is-
that.
I'm with Red Shirt on this. Karate automatically adds a point to any movie. I don't give a shit what it is. You put karate in it, it gets a point.
Oh yeah, agreed.
And you got
I made
Lethal
Nick- I
Weapon
made
series,
Nick
and you're
watch-
adding karate to it.
I made Nick Weiser do a movie with that basically we were doing you remember, Nick, we were doing the Chuck Norris series. And I said we have to do the one with Bruce Lee where Bruce Lee beats him.
Yes,
That's
with
right,
Brucey,
yes.
I was like,
yeah,
but that was
He's
still one of the
clean-shaven.
best Chuck Norris movies because it was the one movie he didn't win.
yeah.
I think Chuck was okay with that. That's like one of the only guys. who could
He
beat him.
actually said of the fights in that, it was really nice of him to let me touch him occasionally.
He got to die an honorable death in it, though.
He
Well,
did.
Bruce is fast. That's the thing.
yeah.
That
it
was
wasn't
the
so
thing.
much-
Bruce was
Master.
that fast. And Norris, who by that time was I think 5 times U.S. karate champion, was like, it was really nice of him to let me land a couple.
Yeah.
Because if it had been
Yeah.
a real fight, he literally just said, admittedly, I never would have touched him.
Beat Bop Boop says with a £1.99, was Lethal Weapon 2's original ending better? No, it's even worse than the one we got because it wouldn't have got 3 and 4. So what Beat Bop Boop's talking about here, for those who may not be aware of this, Riggs died in the original ending of part 2.
Yeah,
He
that would have cost
Yeah.
him a lot of money.
Yeah.
Why
He
would
got
they do
shot.
such a stupid
But
And
thing?
he
He's
fell
made-
into the... Go ahead.
I was going to say that would have made his comeback in the third one even more interesting.
Even weirder. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like that was the other ending because like his girlfriend dies in both versions. That's the thing. It just to me it was so mean and wretched to do, and you didn't need to do it. That was kind of where it just feels like there's this meanness to the second film. Because before that, the movie's great, and then you get to that part, and to me, it twists me up every time. It's like, did you really need to go to that extent just to make him have the Mad Mel moment again, like the first movie? I got to rewatch it. It's been a few years.
Why did they even think of killing him off, though? That would be so stupid.
Honestly, I don't know. I'd have to go back and listen to the commentary and see where
Artistic
the mentality
integrity.
was. Yeah, I think they were just thinking that. I don't know if Donner was just kind of thinking he didn't
Consequences.
really want to keep doing these or not or what, but I think throughout the making of part 2, he realized he liked it a lot and he wanted to keep doing them. So they did make sure they had a safety ending.
So they filmed just 2 endings, knowing that they may choose one or the other,
Yes.
or okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because he dies in his arms after he gets shot up. And I think the version that's in there now, he's still shot up, but he doesn't die, right? Basically, that's how it ends, something like that. It's been a
Yeah,
while
he,
since I
he
watched it.
tells jokes. Basically, there's jokes. He's like, "Oh, they're decaffeinated."
He just walks it off.
Yeah. He just walks it off, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is he's made, and that's why I like part 3 and 4, because it does actually allow the character to grow. to where part 2 it feels like Mel's kind of stunted. That's my only big complaint with that, and because otherwise the Joe Pesci stuff raises it so high. They fuck you in the drive-thru. Like,
Joe Pesci elevates that movie.
Oh, God.
That's why it needs to be in an A.
He didn't elevate that movie. He saved that movie.
Exactly.
True.
That's what I'm getting at. If you take him out of the movie, I don't know if it works so well. That's my point. I don't know.
No, that would probably be our 1D if it weren't.
And
for
then
Joe Pesci.
Neil Gaiman's Truffle Butter says, "What Women Want" is probably the second best film starring Mel Gibson in a dress. Jason Webster says Mel Gibson graduated from NIDA NIDA with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in the late 70s in Sydney, Australia. He supports the Australian film industry, which is funny because he's actually American. I keep forgetting that, but yeah.
Well, it's even funnier when you know that he was dubbed in the first Mad Max movie.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard.
Yeah, he was originally, but they now the only version you can get is his.
No one's ever actually born in Australia, you know.
Well, I think you can watch it with both.
No one's ever born there. They just move there and then.
Yeah, they all just end up there.
Like the Bee Gees or AC/DC, none of them are actually Australian.
Like, why are you deporting me to Australia? I'm not Australian. Nobody cares.
Why would they dub Mel Gibson though? I don't understand.
Because he had an Aussie accent. They dubbed everybody in the original one.
He had such a strong accent. They figured they either had to subtitle him or dub him. So they
wait a minute. Isn't the first Mad Max in Australia?
Yes. Yeah, but they did it. They didn't just do
Why
it to
would
Mad
they
Max.
have to dub him? He's
they
in
did
Australia.
It to everybody. No. He's talking about
the
the American
version. They dubbed everybody.
They wanted the American version to sell, and they didn't think Americans would understand his strong accent.
Yeah,
well, it wasn't just Mel, like I was saying, it was everybody.
Everybody.
So they redubbed everybody. But nowadays you can get it with both soundtracks, or at least the original one. Panagiotis Zavidis, if I'm saying that right. I'm sure I did not. Panagiotis Zavidis is probably closer.
Panagiotis Zavitas.
Thank you so very much for correcting me on that one. 10 Canadian says, sorry if I missed it, but I don't see Bloodfather on the list, and it's the best Mel Gibson performance post 2015. Amazing film, A to S tier, had a limited theatrical release. Well, right there is your answer why it's not on the list, because I did debate it. I actually spent like a good 90 minutes putting this list together, and a big part of it was I was looking up some of these latter films to seeing how wide of a release they got, and that's kind of where I had to cut the line off, because dude's been in 76 movies or so, and I cut the list down to about 36 where he's either the main star, a main part of the supporting cast, like a villain or what have you, and I cut out anything where he was a supporting actor, like a really low level supporting actor, or in most cases just a cameo, which was the deal with him, and like Casper and stuff like that, where he just had a cameo. And otherwise it was stuff that was straight to video I did not include. So, and I considered that like too small. So sorry about that. But, and I don't think anybody on the panel has seen it, but there's a recommendation. There you go.
I think you can see it on Amazon. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
And then Neil Gaiman's Home, and that's why I think I put it, because I think it was an Amazon movie to begin with or something like that. But either way, Neil Gaiman's Homemade Truffle Butter says, and you could tell the castles were Scottish by the silhouettes of a man pumping away at a sheep in the background. Some might have been Welsh. Oh,
no one would touch a Welsh sheep. That's disgusting.
I was gonna say, you would know, you were there, right?
It's repulsive. Yes. Yeah. What kind of degenerates do you think we are in Scotland?
And then Action Com quotes one of the best lines.
Never touch a Welsh sheep.
And of course, he's got his Lethal Weapon 2 symbol. That's what I love here on his Action Com does for his icon. It says, guys like you don't die on toilets. I know, that's why I've got a rough time shitting on the second one. I don't mean to at all. Action Com says, where would you put Mel's cameo appearance in Fatherhood? I thought about it, but it's like, it's pretty funny. It's just one of the better parts of the film, but it's just a cameo. Yeah. That's why I didn't wind up on here. That's where I was kind of like, no, I can't be having all these movies on here. We'll be here all damn day. Speaking of, let's get back to this. We got Air America next. This is one I have not seen, but it's him and Robert Downey Jr.
I actually should see it. I've never seen it before, from what I recall.
It's a
I actually
good
have
movie.
it. I just have to watch it. You've seen it, Brian?
Oh yeah, no, that's a great movie.
Haven't seen, but I should have given their relationship.
I think it's great, but that's just me. I mean, I like
it's where they
this kind of stuff.
Let me look up the plot here. Unless you can
Well,
explain it real quick.
it's drug flying.
As I say, they're running drugs. Yeah.
Running drugs. Basically, that's what Air America is, isn't it? It's like it's making money for the.
They're a clandestine airline operating out of Laos, run by the CIA.
This is one where I'd struggle. It's A. I think this is an A, possibly an S, even depending on your feeling. It's a fun movie.
I have to see it yet.
Great
I have
action.
it.
I've seen it once, like 20 years ago.
And it's got Burt Kwok in it, so it's got to be good.
Red Shirt, you haven't seen it?
I have not seen it. I've thought about it, but it's not been on. It's never made it on my short list.
Anybody besides? No.
The chat is very high on it.
I see A's and B's and S's. So
I think it's at least an A for me.
I'm gonna go in the A tier because I think the next one might.
It's a fun movie.
Deserve to be in the S tier. Bird on a Wire, Mel Gibson, Goldie Hawn. I remember this movie was fucking huge when it came out.
Huge, but not that great, actually.
It's not. I mean, it's an average film, but that's the problem. Is like it's iconic enough, but where does it belong?
B or C.
Ooh, so you're going harder. All right.
I thought it was annoying. It was just annoying. I expected so much more from it. Even when I saw it years ago, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And then I watched it, I'm like, this is it? Yeah, the whole premise that he arrives was somebody shot his butt and he arrives years later. I don't know. It just seems so kind of run of the mill.
It's not nearly as good as you would expect. I think, yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Is given the both of them and how much buzz there was around the movie when it came out, I expected it to be much, much better. And at the end, I'm just like, they collected a paycheck. So yeah,
go ahead.
I'm just saying I'm okay with a C, but you go ahead now.
No, I was just going to say I completely agree with you. I mean, you would go into this thinking it was going to be something pretty slick, and it's John Badham directing, and it was just kind of meh. It was like okay, and a little bit contrived, and too many kind of telegraph twists and turns. Probably it's Hans Zimmer's fault. I blame Hans Zimmer.
It's always Hans Zimmer's fault.
I mean, it's kind of like I don't know, it was just boring. I think a lot of it was quite boring and forced. So I would say it's a C.
I second that motion. I'm okay with
I'm leaving it
putting
up to the chat. I already started the poll, so vote, guys. Let us know what you think. It sounds like to me though it's going to go kind of lower than expected. A Year of Living Dangerously. Anybody seen it?
Yep. Absolutely, yeah.
Haven't seen it.
It's pretty damn good. I mean, it's definitely the drama end of the spectrum.
When journalist Guy Hamilton arrives in Jakarta, Indonesia, he has difficulty making contacts. He forms a friendship with a dwarf photographer, Billy Kwan. Okay, I'm seeing this. Linda Hunt's in it. This is the one where she won the Oscar. That's right. I've seen this.
It's got it's got action, but it's very dramatic.
Sigourney Weaver's in it too. Yep.
Remember at the time, I mean, I'm a big Peter Weir director, and I'm a bit of a fan. This has got to be, for me, I think it's an A, possibly an S, but I'll be happy with A.
We got a lot of B's and A's in the chat.
Oh, I remember seeing this. I remember seeing the poster for this and not wanting to watch because it looked like a romance movie, so I never watched it.
There's a lot more to it than that, yeah.
It probably is. That was teenage me saying if it's some weird romance movie, I don't want a part of it.
Johnny, I don't think this is even a contest. Linda Hunt kicks her ass.
Nick Weiser, I had exactly the same reaction when I first heard about this movie.
Oh, you too.
Yep. Nah.
We're getting a lot of A's and S's in the chat.
It's an A or an S. Yeah, I mean, it's a minimum an A for me. I mean, it's got a lot. It's great suspense. The romance is actually pretty good in it, which romance usually annoys the shit out of me.
Well, I put it in the A tier for now.
Yeah, it could. A lot of people would put it in S.
Yeah,
but I think it's an A.
Well, we'll see if we decide to change that.
And Mel's brilliant in it. Let's actually. it's a Mel Gibson list. Mel is brilliant in it.
It's been so long since I've seen it, I can't really make a good argument for it. That's the problem, one way or the other. So I think for now, A is probably good unless a bunch of people freak out in the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying, speaking of, about Bird on a Wire, since I think most of you have voted now that are going to vote. And wow, we got one for the C tier. Holy crap. You guys did not like Bird on a Wire. Jason Webster says The Year of Living Dangerously is definitely an A. Well, that's where it wound up, Jason, absolutely. So you should be happy. Thank you for that. And 6, yes, she voted B for the Bird on a Wire movie, but it ended up in C. So sorry about that. And Paulie says it's such a special film. Well, it deserves to be in the A's.
No, it should be a D. If Paulie likes it, it's a D. Let's put it in the D's.
We got the last 3 on here, unless anybody wants to make a really big argument for any we may have missed of his. But I thought I did a pretty good job of compiling the list. There was only a couple that I kind of was like, maybe I should have. I don't know.
Have we done Boss Level? Was Boss Level done earlier?
No, I didn't put that one on here.
You didn't put Boss Level in?
No, I didn't. Sorry. Because we got the last 3 Mad Max films left here. The only 3 Mad Max films.
Yeah, there's only 3.
Starting with Thunderdome. 2 man enters, 1 man leaves.
B.
Did you just say B?
B.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
do you want me to double down, triple, quadruple down on B? I'm going
I'll quintuple you an A.
How come everybody's so down on this movie, yet this is the one we always quote?
Because it's
everybody
not R-rated.
It's
not R-rated.
You don't quote it because it's good.
I like it. B is a good rating. B is still saying like this is like a 7.75.
I think this movie is way too. It takes too much shit.
It's a B.
I agree with Nick. It's a B.
Everyone acts like it's like a 4 or 5. I really enjoy it. It's like a 7.75.
It's a B.
Also, there's some annoying children that arrive halfway through the movie for no
you guys
reason.
and the kids. What the hell?
The kids.
The set design.
Here comes Paulie.
The set design is.
He's gonna probably say,
fantastic.
"Oh, this movie's trash." Why?
The kids don't bug me. The only thing, it's just not as good as the other 2 movies. That's all it is.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, Paulie. That's where we're at.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
Yes, sir.
Fucking A, man.
That's what I'm saying, at least.
Right on.
Wow.
At
Beautiful
least.
film.
You know where
Because
it's
you know
beautiful
why?
film.
All right, here's why
It's a
you guys are going to
beautiful
let me put this in A, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we're done. After this, these 2 are fucking S tier.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you got to at least
Yep.
have that in the A tier.
Now here's my argument though. With your S and A's, some of these films don't belong on the same level as Thunderdome or Ransom or the other ones. That's my only thing.
See, yeah, I'm agree with you here because like we need to kind of reassess some of these here in the A and the B section a little bit.
Some of these were audience picked too, so
some of them were, so we can't really change those. But
yeah,
like I'm still up there with an argument for Ransom maybe being S tier.
Thunderdome gets a lot of shit.
It
That's
does.
Really weird.
Way too.
It should have been
better than the
R-rated.
first one.
Watch it again,
R-rated.
guys. Watch it again.
The
Watched it
R-rating,
about
though,
15, 20 times.
I get what you're saying. As far as like, okay, as a follow-up to Road Warrior, yes. But on its own, it is a pretty badass movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It just
Great flick, man.
It just it's a movie that was following up Lightning in the Bottle. That's the problem it has.
I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry. If anything, Mad Max.
All I want to say about this movie compared to the Road Warrior is that this is like arguing over whether the Two Towers is better than the Return of the King in the Lord of the Rings.
That's what I feel like. I agree.
It's a trilogy. It's one story. It's 3 episodes of one man's story. I think that the third movie is the weakest of the 3.
I kind of compare it to Return of the Jedi in a weird way. I feel like the Mad Max trilogy is a lot like the Star Wars trilogy. The first one's great. Second one's better. The third one's not quite as good, but it's still amazing.
I think Mad Max, the first one's a great story. I actually don't think it's like the best of the films.
Ooh. Oh no, it's not.
No, I think
Road
the
Warrior is definitely the best.
Road Warrior is
Road Warrior is the best, but Mad Max, the first one, is second best.
It deserves because
it's third best.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, Mad Max deserves to be up there just because of how iconic it is.
I agree.
But again, like you're talking about all these films, and then you got some other bozo movies up there.
Yeah.
Well, we got to get some movies moved down. I agree with you.
What's
The
wrong with you
Patriot is
guys?
an S.
Oh no, the Patriot deserves to be up there.
Wait a
We're
minute.
gonna argue
compare
on
the-
I
that.
wasn't
compare
in
the
the chat
role-
at that. I wasn't in the stream at that point, Paulie.
I don't give a shit. You shut your British ass up.
Scottish, actually.
Just
I don't give a
Canadian.
shit.
1812.
He's
Remember
whatever the
1812.
fuck it's convenient to be today.
Listen, I think Patriot gets a lot of extra brownie points for being so patriotic. It's not a really good film, guys.
Oh, it's a great film. It's a rah America fuck you movie.
But that
I don't give a shit.
Should have had the Canadians
I
burning the
know.
White House, then it would have been a proper Roland Emmerich film.
the movie's silly. The movie's silly.
It's good though. It's fun.
It is. It's entertaining, but
okay.
you put it up against conspiracy theory or lethal
I don't
weapon.
care.
Come
All right, I
on,
agree though
dog.
that some of these movies got to move around a little bit
Come
here, a
on,
little bit.
dog.
Okay, so all right. First of all, we got to get something in the D tier.
But you put together a great list, by the way. You did a great job with all.
Well,
this
considering how many movies he's in and
Right.
how I had to break this down, yeah.
Fat Man's on here.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
Oh, where's that?
It's in the A.
It's in the A's.
Okay. Well,
Put Daddy's
I
Home
see it.
2 in
I see
D
it.
because it's the easiest one to just put.
Daddy's
in D.
Home 2 is in D. Okay, we can do that.
You got to throw some. You got to throw. Don't be afraid to throw some of these down to
Now
C,
you
man.
make it a good argument for Machete Kills maybe being
That's
going
Machete
lower.
Kills dog shit, dude.
It's dog shit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put it in the D's for dog
It's
shit.
fun though. It's fun.
What
That's
women
because
want
I-
should be in the D.
What
That is
Women is
not-
definitely in the
Oh,
D's.
yeah.
What Women- I agree, Nick. I
It's
agree.
not good
Who
at
cares?
all.
It's the only reason I would argue that is who cares what women want?
He doesn't care what they want either in the film.
All right, I'll compromise.
That's true. Make it a C, but it's good comedy. You know what? I don't
it
know if it
is.
still stands up though. I haven't
I
seen
don't
I
it.
haven't watched it in a while.
The movie doesn't work without Mel Gibson, but he's just so fucking good in that movie.
I know
really
that's my
is,
problem with
man.
it. It's a high concept and it worked.
And it's
He's-
real slick
he's
production.
proof
Yeah.
of what happens when you have a good actor in a bad movie, that even a good actor still can only go so far.
I don't know if it's necessarily a bad movie. I mean,
Yeah, I don't. Well, you
I
just
was-
don't like it, Nick. Yeah, I get it.
I don't like it. I really.
No,
I
no.
saw it with a crowd of people, and I was the only one who
Yeah,
didn't
it's not
like
my
it.
cup of tea.
It should stay a B. It's good. It's a
all right,
really good.
Well, all right.
I don't
Comedy's
especially
hard,
like
man.
it, but it's pretty well made and he's good in it. I don't know.
I do.
Like,
And
yeah.
for Price to say that, that's like
That's true.
Shit,
But I
man.
do feel like one of these
Okay.
ones got to go in the
Look,
S tier,
right.
like either
Look,
Ransom.
Do
or...
this, Tom. Do this. Start with the S's. Is there anyone there that sticks out that should be an A?
No, there. As far as I'm concerned, the S tier needs a few more. See, this is where I'm getting upset
I
because
think
I think
Patriot should be
Ransom
an
should
A.
be up there. I disagree with you. I don't think anything should come down.
Oh.
I think things should go up. in the
I'm
S
with
tier.
Paulie. Bring that down.
Fuck you. You shut up. You don't get a vote in this.
Come on, it's the first time I've agreed.
You're not
agreed with
American.
Paulie.
Hush.
Scottish.
I'm
Sip
American.
it.
I'm
Not you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Brian.
That's a terrible thing to say about Paulie, just
I'm going
because
to
he's
mute you,
Hispanic.
motherfucker.
I'm American.
Look, Trump's not even sworn in yet, and you're
You
being
lost
you're-
this war, sir. Lost.
The way I say it, I got 2 more days of freedom, and then I got to start looking over my back. So relax.
right.
guys.
Besides, we got your Braveheart up here in S tier.
Come
You
to
just shut your
Canada.
mouth.
Come to Canada, Paulie.
You shut
Don't
your
look
mouth
after
because
you.
Braveheart is no more accurate than
Is
fucking
there a
Patriot
tier
is.
above S? Because that's where Braveheart should be.
I knew you were going to say something. Oh, God. Son of a bitch.
But the thing about conspiracy theory, it's a great rewatch.
It
It's
is.
a
Well,
good movie.
I think Ransom should be in the S tier
No,
and maybe even Signs.
I just
will-
recently rewatched Ransom.
Oh, but
it's a little dated.
It may be, but you got Donnie Wahlberg, who's amazing in it. You got Rene Russo and him, who are just brilliant as always. You've got the
Delroy?
iconic scenes in it.
Delroy
Yeah,
Lindo.
Delroy's great in it. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's one of his iconic films, and that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I'm not necessarily rating it on the quality of the film this time as I am the iconicness of it.
I think it's too high.
See, you don't even need to be here.
Oh my God! Really?
You see, I'm telling you, Paulie, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse.
Fired.
I came at the end so I can give my thoughts.
I'm just fucking with you.
Is Payback on here, by the way? Is Payback on here?
Payback is here, and you missed that part of the show
Yeah, I
here
did.
because I had a big soliloquy about Payback. Because I think
I
it
love
should-
that movie.
I do too.
So in
His
the A
version,
section, you want
anyway.
stuff to go up. I'm saying
like
some of this
both.
stuff should go down.
I like both versions. What did you just say
I
there, Paulie?
brought some to go down, and you all wouldn't budge.
Which one?
No, because what
Lord,
you want?
no.
Fine, there. You happy?
Oh, that's
Yes.
that was
justice.
rude and mean.
Gallipoli.
Yes, I could live with that.
Gallipoli is, I think, is A level. I mean S level.
Oh, a Gallipoli. I wasn't
Yeah.
here for that either. That would definitely have been an S for me. Yeah,
I would have put it
that
there.
movie is powerful.
That movie is so
Does
amazing.
Pocahontas really deserve to be in the fucking A's?
No,
Okay, I did not speak before, but Pocahontas is my least favorite.
I was
of the
gonna
movies
say
from
that is like one of my
era.
least
Seriously.
favorite of that era.
I
Honestly,
mean,
he's the only good part of the
They
movie.
made this
I
big whole
get
deal about how we're gonna kill somebody off. It's the first time Disney's ever killed somebody off in a major motion picture. It's like okay, and then it was just like this is really
Well, didn't
disappointing.
they? Well, anyway.
I mean, should you even be adding animation films? Man,
Yeah.
well, I did just because he's a main.
He had a strong lead in it. That's
yeah,
how
as long as he was one of the leads, that's where I. Yeah,
yeah.
he's a co-leader lead, so he was in those, and he's only got 2 animated films on here. So
What about the
Chicken
Jesus
Run.
Christ movie? Put that one up.
that's
there.
he's not in it.
He's
not
directing.
starring in it.
Like, yeah, but we're not doing.
That's a
directorial.
different list.
So what? Then I could put
We
Apocalypto
debated
up there.
that. We debated. Are we going to do
Oh,
his directing or are we
Apocalypto
going to
would
do
be
his
S tier.
movies? But the directing, he's only made like 10 or 12 movies. So like,
Apocalypto's definitely S tier.
That's
if
still
it
a
was
lot
in
of
here.
films, man.
it is, but that's for a shorter list when we get like
A
2
different
shorter
list.
lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Chicken Run should be higher, if anything.
Which one?
I agree with
Chicken
you.
Run.
Well, you guys are really,
the chat
really
voted for
high on that.
the chat did vote for A though.
Yeah,
I was
we
gonna
got
say
to
the
get
chat
A.
got
that
that
like
one.
Chicken
If
Run, yeah.
they voted on A, we stick it where they want it.
Hello.
Oh boy.
And we got Action Com who says in Thunderdome, a train crashes into a car. The car output doesn't die, ends up in a cow catcher, and is just a little sooty for his trouble. I know that. Look, I get it. Mad Max 3 has a bit of a cartoony element to it. I'm not going to disagree.
I
So
love
Dead Man-
But as Nick says,
cartoony
B
element.
isn't
It's
bad.
great.
Dead Man says, as a native of South Carolina, I have to say the Patriot is an A because its output, it's about the swamp fox who was a badass during the revolution. Well, we got an S tier, Dead Man. So you're saying it should come down, Dead Man? Is that the argument you're making?
Yes.
No, you shut up, Brian. You don't get a vote in this one.
I don't
I
think.
just don't
I
think-
don't
I
think.
just-
he
I don't know
means
how much
that.
more clear I can make that.
I don't think the Patriot is not up on the same caliber as a movie as Road Warrior and Braveheart.
I'm not going
I
to
mean,
disagree with
that's
you, but
silly.
Brian's not getting a fucking say in this.
You guys,
Well, you
are
shouldn't get a
silly.
say about Braveheart then.
What does
Oh,
it
it's
say?
S tier anyway.
Exactly.
It's
What does
S
it say
tier, so
about
be
Braveheart?
quiet.
I think
Braveheart is
SD0 in
his
the chat
peak.
has a point that Lethal Weapon 2, 3, and 4 should be in the same tier because there is so much difference of opinion on which movie.
I do agree with
people
that
like.
a little bit, but we're getting a little loaded already
We do
in the A.
Lethal Weapon, argue Lethal Weapon. We're going to go
No.
for another hour.
Guys, Lethal Weapons is A's. You guys are on crack.
What?
If only.
The first one, yes.
Yeah. Give me your crack then. Because
Oh, you guys are really pissing me off.
I'm just saying you can't give everything an A. It doesn't make anything.
He's
Such
good
an
at it.
A.
though.
Well,
we
actually, I
can't help it
disagree.
that he has great
I
movies.
disagree. Because
There's
if we
a lot
like
of
his
B's,
movies and they're
a
good,
few
then
C's and a few D's.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Also,
I mean,
All right, here's
All I'm
my
saying
Lethal
about Lethal
Weapon.
Weapon is that Lethal Weapon 2, 3,
Oh,
and 4,
let- I
there's so
wanna
much
hear his- I
division
wanna
on
hear
people's
his Lethal Weapon
opinions.
Yeah.
It's hard to put them too much apart from each other.
All right,
That's
Lethal
what I was getting
Weapon
at.
1
Look,
is an
I
S.
I would just say, Paulie, that
Yeah.
if they were all these were, if most of these were in the C and D tier, we wouldn't be doing this show right now.
exactly.
No,
So that's a
no,
good
I
point.
disagree. I think B's are great. B's are great
No,
films.
well, I didn't say B. I said
agree.
C or D.
Yeah, but the
I'm saying in
B's should
general,
be-
B's a great film. Like
I
The
wanna
only
hear
movie
Paulie's
that's in the
ranking.
B's right now that's bugging me is Lethal Weapon 4.
Hmm.
Lethal Weapon 4 is a D.
No,
Lethal
you
Weapon-
shut up.
Lethal Weapon 3 is an A. Lethal Weapon 2 is a B. That's how
I like 4 better than 2.
Yeah. And I know I'm pissing people off in the chat.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
saying
it's
I
a
like
fair
4
point of
better
view.
than 2. So,
I don't-
and that's
I don't
what I
care.
think CC was saying is there's so much division and argument with it
Yeah.
that the fact that you have Lethal Weapon 4 in the B's and I'm allowing that, you should just be happy with it.
You could put all three of them in the B. I mean, like they're not like
No.
What you have Payback as an A?
No.
Come on, guys.
Payback should be in the S tier as far as I'm
my
concerned.
God, it's such a retread. It's so boring.
What?
Yeah, it's like it came out the late 90s. It was kind of like a tired wannabe Tarantino film. Had some good moments. Lucy Liu's, was really good in it, but it's totally forgettable, guys.
I didn't forget it.
Yeah, I remember a lot of things about it. I don't know how that makes it forgettable.
Tom, you're an elephant. You never forget anything.
Oh, I forget a lot more than you realize. I forgot what I had for breakfast. I just remember stupid shit about movies all the time.
So what? And then what you guys were talking smack about Heglin? Okay, all right.
Back then, yeah. Fuck the movie. Look, I've seen his director's cut. It sucks. I like the Mel Gibson version. Sue me.
I think he took over. I think Gibson took over, but
he totally did. That's what I said.
Why do you think it? I just don't think it was good to begin with.
Well, the third act is horrible in the director's cut.
All right.
I love Payback, the version we got. I saw it in theaters like 3 times. I get where you're coming from the Tarantino aspect of it, but see, I was eating that kind of shit up at that point.
But by then, it was like 99. I was like, yeah, I'm done, dude. I was done.
And it was also one of the first great DVDs, so.
Tarantino was done. Tarantino was done with his own shit.
Here we go again with what women want.
Yeah, Jesus. Yellow Flash. This is what I've been saying for a long time.
Oh, shit. And then Deadman says I like Lethal Weapon 5. Well, we haven't got it yet, so hopefully it's good, though. We do.
That'll be good.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. I kind of like it as it is right now, unless anybody wants to make a big argument.
As is. Even if I don't agree with all of it.
There's a
mess
few
around with it. We're gonna mess around with it for another 2 hours. And at that point,
I agree. We're hitting the 2-hour mark now, so
yeah.
I'm just looking at these other ones.
We can find another list to argue about.
Mel Gibson's awesome. So if A is the strongest,
that's what you would expect, which is what I was kind of getting at. We love Mel Gibson's movies. If we didn't, then we wouldn't be doing this, and they would all be season D's.
Yeah, I think you should watch some of his older films. People in the chat, Gallipoli, The Year Living Dangerously is just.
And he's done a lot of films after the ones we have on here. Just sadly, a lot of them are straight to streaming or lower level.
We tried to watch one the other day where he's like a radio guy. Mm-hmm. He's on the radio.
How
like
can we have too many S tier? In fact, I think there's some that belong
Thank you,
in
Yellow
the S
Flash.
tier.
No,
what the fuck?
Yellow Flash is fucking
the whole point is we love Mel Gibson. We want to put him in the S tiers.
It's got to be
people wanting Signs and Ransom in there. I can see an argument.
See, that's the whole thing with you don't make A special. A is special.
Okay, so what's not goat about any of the movies that are in the S tier then? You tell me.
Just change the letters.
Brian, you shut the fuck up.
Sometimes they do these lists with SS tier.
If you're asking me with S, what shouldn't be there?
Oh, now Yellow Flash, you're just being rude. Conspiracy Theory is definitely not way too high.
I don't think it's wrong. I think
great films, man.
Conspiracy and Patriot. Well, Conspiracy A, Patriot B.
If I'm taking something out of the S tier, then Ransom's going up. I don't give a shit because that.
I love that.
That's why you make it special, dog.
Fought so hard for Ransom. I admire this. I
saw that movie in the theater. That fucker,
I saw all these movies in the theater, man.
No, but how can anybody argue with me how iconic Ransom was?
Conspiracy Theory could be an A. I don't think that would be.
I will accept that.
That's not a bad thing.
I agree with Paulie. I'd drop that down A, but that's just me.
It's not a bad thing.
But Ransom belongs up there then.
No, it does not.
No, it has nothing to do. Like I agree.
Ransom is not a perfect
film. Come on. It's not about it being a perfect film. It's about how iconic it is in his career. We know that. Oh
no, but we're
Mad Max and Braveheart. Those are iconic, and Lethal Weapon 1. Those are iconic.
So is Ransom to a point.
I don't think so, and I don't think
Conspiracy. I accepted the argument that Signs is, even though I don't really like Signs.
Signs is right within its A. Signs is right in the A.
I could drop if it were me, I could drop Conspiracy Theory, Patriot, and that War one that I didn't see. They could probably all be A because they're not as iconic.
They're
not as iconic.
Doesn't make it.
We Were Soldiers.
War bring it.
Yeah,
down
I mean
the
thing is
that
Braveheart, Lethal Weapon, and the first 2 Mad Maxes are legitimate S in my opinion. Those are iconic.
They're almost perfect films if there is such a thing. You're absolutely right, man. And but see, the thing is that A's are amazing films.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's not like A's. Oh, you guys are
That's
treating
right.
the A watermark, the high mark, as like, oh, it's a D. It's like A is amazing.
He's adding more to the S.
No,
as unintelligible as he is, Paulie has made some good points.
And okay, whatever.
I don't agree with half of them, but all right.
Listen to Yellow Flash, my brother Yellow Flash. S tier should be reserved for masterpieces.
Flash just likes to start fights, so I don't even know if half the shit he's saying is real.
He's right though. S tier is for
but it's not
masterpieces.
just him, dog.
But you know what? We're both. But here's the problem: we're all looking at this different way of how we're ranking the S tier.
Right,
This is why I don't like the S fucking tier. See, because I rank it as far as like iconic. It's because the ABCD thing.
Then.
I don't disagree with you, but like
to me, a C is like a decent movie. A B is a really
to me,
good movie.
C is almost horrible. D is horrible because there is no F. See, that's my problem with this S tier thing.
That's where you gotta like.
I agree with you.
You gotta define it yourself.
I think that S should
I've been defining it as iconography.
S should be landmark movies, and I think that Braveheart, Lethal Weapon 1, Mad Max 1, Mad Max 2, they qualify for landmark Mel Gibson movies.
And a lot of Mel Gibson fans and Hollywood go with Patriot and We Were Soldiers too, by that argument. As much as I love Chicken Run, as much as those movies, I also do recognize that Chicken Run isn't as well recognized as those movies. But by that logic of iconography, We Were Soldiers and the Patriot should be there.
Absolutely.
And even Ransom. If we're gonna go if that's our we're gonna go by, we may as well put Ransom in there. I'm now gonna have to back Tom on that one.
Well, that's what I'm saying is because he's so
Mel
well known
Gibson
for it.
Iconography. Yes.
Come on, man. Come on. Ransom as S?
I wouldn't put it there, but I understand what you're saying because I would put Signs up there, but I understand that's not really the iconic landmark film either.
As much as I've signed, it's not one of the first ones people think of when they think of Mel Gibson. That was one of those things where if you're a Mel Gibson fan or an M. Night Shyamalan fan, you're like, oh yeah, I really like that one. But it's not like
many people consider it like many people consider it Nick like his Shyamalan's third best film, right? It's not even his top two. Yeah.
I just moved down Expendables and Beaver into C territory.
It's probably fair.
I don't hear anybody bitching.
I'll compromise.
And there's a lot of these in the B tier that I've never even seen, so I can't argue for one way or the other. Or I don't remember that well.
The Mutiny was, it was all right. It wasn't all that.
Wasn't all
should
that
have
in
had
the bag of chips?
Attack Force Z should have been in this list.
It almost did make the list. It almost did.
Hey, it's got Sam Neill in it too.
We got a super chat about it, but I mean, is the question: Are we ranking this against Mel Gibson or against normal, reviews?
It's just like kind of like
point.
I
That's
don't
a good
know.
point.
That's the thing with this thing.
It's
Mark
against Mel
47
Gibson.
Says I'm not above bribery, but get Maverick up to S and shut down all dissenters by ending the stream.
Yeah, no shit.
Maybe a few more bucks and
for only $5. Come on, cough it up.
Rob Altus says
that's not much of
$5.
It's not much of a bribe.
Guys,
But
you
I
argue
think-
about. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think it's a good point that we're really ranking Mel Gibson against Mel Gibson, not against every other movie.
Well, no, that's
is
what I'm
a good
saying. It's his
argument to be having.
iconography, right? Like
Yeah,
that's the
we're-
whole point with me in the S tier is like, okay, once something's in the S tier, it's above and beyond. Doesn't matter. It's just it is what it is. Like Mad Max, Lethal Weapons, those kind of things. I get what you guys are saying. To me, Ransom and Signs probably belongs there, even though I'm not a big fan of Signs. But then once you get to the rest of the films, that's when you kind of go by the level of how good of a film are they, because they're not so much. It's not so much about Mel Gibson as it is the movie then at that point, right? That's kind of where I'm getting at. Like to me, Ransom, Signs, when I think about those movies, I think about Mel Gibson.
Sweetheart.
Conspiracy Theory.
The movie Ransom. Yeah, Mel Gibson. What do you give it? Grade it. Then we just rewatch it? No. Oh, shit. Sorry. I thought I was gonna I think she really liked it. That's why I stopped her. Okay, sorry about that, Tom.
Well, and I was just saying earlier because I remember that that movie was pretty big when it came out. That scene's been parodied a million times. That's kind of where I'm looking at is how does it impact the culture, right? Signs definitely impacted the culture. Ransom definitely impacted the culture. I could even make an argument for conspiracy theory, right? Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, it may not be the best of the three films, but we quote it all the time. And that's the argument I was trying to make, plus the song and all the things that we, it's very iconic. Even South Park still makes fun of it and shit all the time. Constantly you're hearing, two-man enter one-man lead. It's always everywhere, all the time. Anyway, Rob Altus says with $5, guys, you're arguing about how great his movies are? This is Nirvana. Tom rules. Well, we try to do some positivity once in a while. Matt Murphy sends in $9.99. It says the S-doubters are acting like this should be a normal deviation bell curve. Tom is right because Mel is awesome, so the majority belongs in BS. Also, give me back my son. That's what I'm saying. It's such a iconic fucking. Give me back my
son. Put it back up, dude. They'll make you.
Now people are bribing you to change the rankings. Now look at the precedent you're setting.
SD zeros. Wait till we do Sylvester Stallone's.
Ooh. Oh God! That's be 5 hours.
Fuck yeah.
5 hours.
You gotta, Tom. When you do Sylvester Stallone, you got to get Matthew Marsden.
We're gonna get a real boxing match over the fucking Rocky films.
You Rocky series, yeah. But for Rambo, you got to get Matthew Marsden on the stream.
If he's more than willing to pop on for the tier stream, he's more than welcome.
I've only streamed with him a couple times. That'd be on the panel.
Yeah, but no, like I'm hoping to do Mel's next.
That's Paulie out then. Paulie, that's you out.
Good.
In 2 days, I won't be eligible.
2 days, you won't be
eligible. And Sly, I think, has been in almost twice as many movies as Mel, so that's going to be
you're going to have to have some parameters there.
I'm going to have to add some parameters to that. It's going to be like him starring and
stuff that he starred or had like a co-starring role in.
We all know Rhinestone's the best Sylvester Stallone movie.
Everyone's going to pick Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. We all know.
Rhinestone's the best. Rhinestone.
Well, that's the thing. How are we going to do this? Because Sly actually has enough where he's got some bad ones.
Oh, he does.
Rhinestone's a great movie.
No, listen. You are not going to fight me when Cobra gets an out, and it's going to be it's a masterpiece.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is Cobra like a great film? It's it's pretty good, but it's iconic also for Sly. Like, that's the thing.
And it's great. He's so badass. He pushed another man's car using his car to push that car out of the freaking parking space. Come on.
You're the disease.
And I'm the cure.
Or that, I'm going to blow this place up. Go ahead. I don't shop here anyway.
I don't shop here anyway. You know what's better yet is what's the name of that one? Something Hawks or Eagles or whatever, the one where he's the cop, the undercover cop, and he's the
Nighthawks.
Nighthawks. And then Rutger Hauer, and he's the fucking in the dress at the end of play. I love
that. Was a great film.
Nighthawks is a brilliant
movie. But when he's in the dress, it's so fucking funny, dude.
Just a badass.
Just do me a favor.
It's
Tom,
a good movie.
Do me a favor, Tom. When you do Stallone, don't put the party at Kitty and Studs in the list.
Okay, I won't. No, that'd be next time. That's
Is
the
Death
next
Race
one.
2000 going to be in the list?
Of course, maybe.
Oh, it's
I don't
gotta
know. I think that'll qualify him because he's the villain in that. So like that kind of puts him in the.
Burn this shit down over here. Dude.
Oh, let me see here. What is he saying?
What is he saying, man? That's not.
This is a travesty. We're not done yet. Chill out.
I could live with that choice, though. Yeah,
calm down,
America is a
dude. Do you know how much money What Women Want made it? And you know how much money that made for me at the fuck? That's one reason I can't hate that movie. That's one of the few movies I had when I owned my video store that actually made me some money. Like that and Hannibal, I will never say a bad thing about. As bad as a movie Hannibal is, I will never say a bad thing about it. That movie actually made me some money. SD0 says with $2, 2 bills to swap Air America with Lethal Weapon 4.
No, that's only $2, man. It got to be like 20. Give me 20 spot. Then we're talking swap.
Oh, he's got a point there. If you're people have that,
I'm gonna.
Points, you might as well have them do huge super chats.
Well, here's the thing: is
yeah. You're actually contemplating a $2 swap. What the
Well,
fuck?
no, that's because the only reason I am is because Lethal Weapon that I argued it should have been in the A tier to begin with.
Boy,
What were you
needs
gonna say, Red
$2
Shirt?
bad.
No, I'm just laughing at I'm just laughing at the super chats which are supposed to influence this decisions. This is
Money
like a
talks.
European tipping.
I'm not above being a whore.
No, man, but like, like
Do
a
it.
50. You do like a 50.
In fact,
Whoa.
next week's positioning should be done entirely by Super Chat.
There you
Hey.
go.
I'm not against this idea.
Tom will
And
be
Six wants to
rich.
know how much to move Signs back to S tier. Well, it never
Oh,
was
you
in the
don't
S tier, but
Oh.
She'll put the money down.
she likes
For real?
Signs.
The thing is, it's a good film, but he's great in it.
That's what I
He
mean.
is
Is
great in it.
iconography in
He's a
it.
Great,
And that's where I
role.
see S tier is like, okay, how do you rate S as a different thing? It's like, okay, so it's iconic, right? It rises above.
No,
the
it has to be.
No,
It has to be
no,
landmark
no.
and not be
Right.
shit.
No, it does not.
No, it's got to be
Landmark
a
is crud.
no. It's got an S tier means everything is amazing. The filmmaking, the writing.
That's,
Yeah,
your,
I
that's
agree
what I'm
with you.
saying. That's two different definitions, though,
It
already.
has to
And
be
that's
a
I know,
good
that-
movie
you
and
and your
landmark,
icon.
both of them
Get outta here.
together.
Get out of here.
Matt Murphy says, for my money, Bird on a Wire is at least a B. Also, ranking Michael Keaton movies could be fun. Yep, that's one I probably
yeah.
definitely would do.
Ooh, yeah.
Love
that'd be
Michael
real
Keaton.
fun.
Multiplicity,
Start
that's
with
S
The Flash.
tier. I would argue that movie went from being a flop to being S tier because of how fucking infamous it is now, and everybody quotes it and talks about it all the time on a weekly, if not daily basis. I've mentioned Multiplicity.
Who
Yes,
do you hang out with that quotes that movie, dude?
I bring up the carbon copy of a carbon copy all the time. We've Steved this thing.
All right.
Okay, Steve. I love that fucking movie. I saw it in the theater like 4 times.
Did you like it more than Godfather 3?
Yes.
Godfather 3 was really mediocre.
Eh.
It's
Don't
one of
even
the
get me
best
fucking
mediocre
started.
movies
This is
ever.
not about Godfather. Shut the fuck up.
There's only really 2 Godfather movies, 1 and 2.
Oh, here we go. You're gonna egg him on. You're
That's
gonna
my boy
egg him
right there.
on.
Debate over Godfather.
You keep egging him on, and I'm gonna move the chicken run
It's
down
like
just
a
because.
5-year argument me and Tom
Oh
have been
shit!
having.
No, you don't.
That's right.
You keep that chicken run right where it's at.
All right.
Do you hear me, Tom Connors?
All right. Are we
You
gonna leave
couldn't
this
even
where
bring
it's at
Tom
now?
Hagen
Yeah.
for the third one, and at the end, like his sister gives like cannoli with poison to people. So
All right,
stupid.
just stop, Price.
And,
All right.
and
Chicken Run
Sofia,
would be S,
Sofia
but-
Coppola couldn't act if her life depended on it, and her movies are shit too.
All right. It's been settled. This is it, guys.
All
We're
right.
past 2 hours. We're done. We're not doing any more changes.
I'm exhausted, and I only came in late.
I can't do any more.
You should do
All
a
right, guys.
Mel Gibson as a director next time. Also,
Yellow Flash is more than
what?
welcome on the panel, but every time I ask him, he says no. But if he wants to pop on here one of these, he's more than welcome. Dead Man says Lethal Weapon 5 is an episode of Always Sunny in Epic Fail Time. Oh, I've never actually seen the show, Dead Man. People say I should watch this show. I have never actually
Yeah,
seen
you,
it.
you should watch it.
I
Seen the
have not
memes.
had, for one, I didn't have cable TV for years. That's why. Yeah.
yeah.
SD0 says if 200 pennies isn't enough, how's 400 pennies? Well,
Oh, there you go. $4.
YouTube keeps a bunch of those pennies, but
So
I don't
altogether,
know.
he's got like $2.
Six says, Paulie, which movie is better, Return of the Jedi or Godfather 3?
Return.
Of course he's going to say Return of the Jedi. What?
It
Return
is.
of the
not even-
The Jedi is a better movie though.
It's
than
a better
It is a
movie.
better movie.
I
Godfather 3
agree.
is
Return of the
horrendous.
Jedi, not even close.
Okay,
I'm not
Revenge
even
of the
gonna get into this
Sith and
argument.
Godfather 3.
I'm not getting into this argument.
No.
I still would choose
Revenge.
Revenge of the Sith. Godfather
That's like-
3
that's
is not
like
a good
which
movie.
I'm not getting in this. It's a better
No.
movie than people give it credit for.
Revenge
Brian,
of the
that's
Sith
like
is great.
asking which STD would you
Joey,
rather have?
Zaza.
It's not a better movie than what it's
I
exactly the
disagree.
mediocre movie that I've always thought it was.
I disagree. I like
But
it.
it's peak
Godfather
mediocre.
3 is a nightmare to Coppola's. He's up there with Megalopolis.
I
I
haven't
like
seen that. That
movie
Megalopolis
was
more.
crazy.
I like Megalopolis more
Six
than
sent in
Godfather
10
3.
bucks just to say that she loves Paulie.
Love you too.
And
Six.
Matt Murphy
Oh.
says with
See,
$50.
there you go. There you
Holy
go.
shit. This is my
There you go.
$50
Bring it
super
up.
look at it because you get none of it unless you put ransom where it belongs. God damn it. Now I just closed it too.
Tom,
Oh,
Tom,
open
I
it
wanna-
up again.
Tom, And that's from a phone he's doing it from. So God bless you.
Son of a bitch.
I want a fucking cut because I was the one who got you up to $50.
You don't want Ransom up there though.
No, I want the money. I want the money, dog.
Oh,
Show me the money.
Holy crud, Matt!
Give me back my
Murphy
son.
coming in hot.
That's what I'm trying to say, man. How much did I just get you, man? Like $60 altogether.
That was amazing. All right, I'm gonna fix this. Hang on.
All right,
Take
now
me a minute.
for Matt, you have to get it up.
This is gonna be tough, but it's gonna look really weird. I'm gonna do this.
You know, Godfather 3 may be bad, but it does have one of the best lines in all the Godfather.
That's what I'm
movies.
saying. We quote it all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's got one of the best lines.
Stop it.
The fact that it has a good line, you know, it doesn't make it a good movie.
The other 3 hours, well, you know.
There's a movie where Samuel L. Jackson says that he's had it with the snakes on the motherfucking plane, and it's an iconic line, but the movie is crappy and everybody knows it.
Yep.
I love snakes on a plane.
There's more than one line though in Godfather 3, and there's scenes and other things.
I'm trying to behave, Tom, so you can end this thing.
Daddy. That's what I remember from Godfather 3. That I think she like gets shot and says that.
You just be quiet too now.
That would be a good stream. Godfather 3 or like you put
the worst acting performance ever committed to screen is Sofia Coppola as his daughter.
I'm not disagreeing. It should have been.
Especially when you put it up against Godfather 1 and 2. It's like,
oh, don't even. Let's let.
Godfather 1 and 2 are masterpieces. Those are real masterpieces. It's an insult. And it's so funny because like if you're like, so yeah, you're right. Those are S tiers, and then Godfather 3 is like D minus tier.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe just for the cast and who's involved out of generosity, even though I don't even disagree with you, Paulie. It really annoys me, the movie. Maybe I would give it a C.
It's got some really important scenes and stuff in it.
That's why I would give it a C. That's why I would give it a C.
The daughter shit is a problem, but
yeah, it's too high, man.
It doesn't need to exist. If honestly, you would have left the first.
So why would you give it a C? It's an abomination.
Fine, fuck it.
It's that
level.
Paulie?
You know what, Paulie? Fuck it. I'll give it a D.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my god.
It doesn't need to exist.
I'm telling you, set it up, Tom. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right.
Godfather 3 versus.
No.
No.
I don't want to get into this.
Look, you want to make some money?
I don't want to get
People
into
be throwing chats. Godfather 3 versus.
I owe Matt something here. All right, so I fixed this.
All right.
Let me get it up here. There. Ransom is now the whole list.
Don't know how you do it.
Nice. That's how you do it.
$50 will get you the entire fucking list, sir.
Well, I'd say $100.
Well, actually, this is what I did. I removed it down here, so there's just this blank spot now. It's up there where it belongs. That's right.
There you go. But you got to put Patriot down.
No, I can't do anymore because I got to do it like with. I already closed the original list out, so I got to do it with like fucking GIMP. I got to go in and fucking erase it and copy and paste it and all this other shit.
Yeah, we're done.
That's what took so long. We're done. This is it.
It's okay.
All right. I'm holding the list, Ransom.
Holy crud.
Give me back my list.
Give me back my son.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. This has been a lot of fun. Oh, we got one more from Jason Webster. Yep. Worst films of 2024, he says here, are Madam Suzuka Webb, The Crow Feet, and Megaflopolis. Oh, I haven't seen Megalopolis yet, so I don't want to say anything about it. So
I saw Megalopolis, and I'm one of the only people in the world. I wouldn't say it's a good movie, but I actually didn't hate it as much as most people did.
I've seen it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
My issue is I won't judge it like a Hollywood film, but what did you think, Brian?
I didn't think it was very good, but I mean, there's some interesting stuff in it. Certainly some good cinematography and here and there, but I just think it's a confusing mess as a movie. So I really didn't get it. Yeah, like it was thought. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for being here. I appreciate it, and it's been a lot of fun. We had some fun. Let's see. What should we leave on?
I'll just say that Megalopolis is sort of a tip of the hat to these kind of German expressionism movies, you know, from early cinema. And I understand that it may not be for everybody, and it's kind of ambitious and it's very niche. But I saw something about it that I didn't dislike, even though there's certainly some missteps in the movie. But I didn't look at it and just think this is so awful like so many other people thought. But that's just me.
All right, well, let's go out on the Mead credits since I don't have any credits yet for this show. Check out That 70s Rock Fan. Check out Red Shirt. Check out CC Karaoke. Check out Price of Reason. Check out Nick Weiser. Check out The Latino Slant. Check out Six. And yeah, Sadie, I know it's time to go out. Yes, dear. Yes. All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.
Cute kitty.
Available now for the first time ever on DVD from Midnight's Edge After Dark Productions. It's My Two Dads, the complete first season starring Mexican Iron Man Tom Connors and Culture Casino. Available now for $19.99 while supplies last.